In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Panther Nation, you already know what time it is. It's Friday. It's 7 p.m. That means it's the Friday free-for-all, the show for Panther fans, by Panther fans, for all of you to come in and let us know what you're feeling about your favorite football team. Boy, do we have a show in store for you all tonight. The rumor mill is heating up. The big news coming out today, Deshaun Watson has been cleared of all criminal charges by a grand jury. And man, oh man, we know the Panthers are thirsty for some Deshaun Watson, man. I know fans feel a lot of different types of ways that it would cost too much to trade for him. People still don't believe that he's a good guy. Whatever it is, man, this is your opportunity to join the show and make your voice heard, man. I dropped the link to join in the chat room on YouTube. It's also in the description box in the YouTube video, on the Facebook video. Don't be shy now. I see a bunch of people who have big time opinions in the chat room who are afraid to come on and let people know. Man, this is your platform. This is for you to talk to Panther fans alike. I'm joined by some of my longtime Panther faithful coming in today, joining this conversation. My man, Drew, and I'm starting with Drew because I feel like me and this man have been on this train the whole time, that whether or not you liked it, loved it, hated it, the Carolina Panthers were not done having this conversation about Deshaun Watson. Drew, I know you've been on that for a long time. How are you, my brother?
I'm doing great, Cody. I'm to the point now, let the games begin. 14 months they've been going back and forth about this. Hey, people feel a certain kind of way about it. The legal system did its part. They say no charges. I can't argue with that. It is what it is. If the Panthers are going to make this move, make it.
Yeah, man. And it just seems like the Panthers are going to have to be aggressive too, because I kind of feel like now that we know the criminal charges are gone, I kind of feel like it's possible that you might hear some more teams that could come interested and potentially want to get in on trade talks. We're definitely going to talk about it today. I'm joined again by my man Kenneth, Panther Pickle. What's up, bro?
Hey, boys, what's up? Well, you know what? I'm a little less than I was because I got my hand caught in the machine at work this past week and nipped off the end of it. But I may have to get it taken off to the knuckle, but we'll see come Tuesday. So keep me in your prayers, and I ain't gonna bore you with no other of that issue. So
no, you're good, man.
But
go ahead.
you know, I've been vocal on Twitter about being against the Watson trade, and I want to be real clear. That is purely financial. Okay. I think he's going to cost too much. By the time you add everything in, I mean, you know, you're going to have a $35-40 million cap hit. Okay, then. All right. Okay, then. But you're also, to me, you're going to have to also calculate the players you lose. It's very adamant right now going off on Twitter that the Texans aren't even going to talk unless we put Brian Burns in that mix. They apparently like Brian Burns that much. That may be one of the reasons why they want to talk to us. But okay, so anyway, by the time you have to add in replacing the players that you trade and bringing in quality offensive linemen, then to me, by the time you add all that in, it's going to cost us too much.
I mean, look,
that's go ahead.
That's one of the big time arguments, right? That people are saying that at the end of the day, this is just going to end up costing too much. And there's definitely a discussion to be had about how much is too much, how much is worth it. But we're definitely going to get into that. Hold on. Let me see. Nick, are you able to come in here yet?
Oh, yeah, dude. Of course I am.
Nick,
it's
what's
Friday.
Up, man? Happy
it's
to
the
have you
free-for-all.
back. Yeah, man. Tell them
Oh yeah.
How
dude.
you feeling, man?
You guys are smoking some crack. No way are we getting Deshaun Watson, man. Like, don't get me wrong. I would love to have him on our team, but the cost is just too high, man. And you guys, you're losing it. Like, I get what all you guys are saying. Like, the pieces that we haven't gotten us there. But at what point are we giving up too much to get the guy that could get us there with the pieces we have? I feel like we're losing too much to get Deshaun.
Yeah, that's a part of the conversation too that I intend to have today. Let me make sure that we get through all of our introductions to the people still coming in. One, this man, Kevin Boshoven.
What's
Kevin,
up?
what's up, brother?
Not much,
How
just
you
chilling.
feeling, man? And yeah, man, happy to have you again on another Friday free for all. And we also have Cody H. Cody, what's going on, brother?
Not much. I'm actually kind of hyped about this Deshaun Watson stuff, but I don't want to get my hopes up too much. So, want to see what.
That'd be good.
a lot of people are. That's kind of a sentiment that I keep on hearing, man. People are afraid to get their hopes up, hoping that something's going to happen just to have the rug pulled out from under you. Man, you can tell that we're jaded as a fan base. It's like we always expect disaster to befall us, man. But listen, we're about to jump right into it. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell for every single time the C3 Panthers podcast goes live. And gentlemen, let's just jump into this, man. Deshaun Watson has been cleared of all criminal charges. It is still possible that Deshaun could face some kind of suspension still from the NFL. So, it could be a scenario where they suspend him for 4 games, even in spite of all this stuff going on. So I'm just going to open the floor. And I also want to give one final reminder that if you want to join the show, the link is in the description box down below. You can hop in, be a part of this conversation. If we have any female fans in the chat, I would love to have you all as a part of this conversation too. Far be it for me to silence any kind of opinions or thoughts or feelings about all this. I don't expect everyone to feel the same way, and I respect everyone's decision, whatever they feel about Deshaun. I've seen a lot of people saying that they'd be done with the Panthers if they did trade for Deshaun Watson. So I think that would be very interesting to follow going forward. But I'm just going to open the floor up to all of you. How are you feeling, man? What do you think are the chances that the Panthers actually land Deshaun Watson?
Well, I think it's actually pretty good, actually. I mean, as everybody said here, that the price is too high. Well, if the price is that high, I think it's going to scare a bunch of teams off because not everybody's going to want to pay that type of a price. The only thing I can see happening that Deshaun just says, I'm not going to Carolina. He hasn't done that yet, but he could say that, and then that'll be the end of that. But they've had 14 months. People are saying, the cost is too high, the salary cap. Suleiman and Fitter have had 14 months to put a plan in place to say, okay, if Deshaun signs off on this, what are we going to do? How are we going to fit this in under our cap, and who can we get?
I got a question. And
but do you really think that?
Go ahead, Ken.
Oh, all right. So, I mean, do you think that they really have thought that much about it? Like, the incompetency of this coaching staff really has left
That's
us.
the point, Nick. You said this coaching staff. I didn't say anything about Matt Rule. I said Suleiman and Scott Fitter. Those are the ones that
I
need to
understand
sit down with the salary cap.
I understand that. I don't have any confidence in what this team is going to do, and I feel like if they do trade for him, they're going to give up too much for him. I do not want to see J.C. Horn in another jersey. I do not want to see Brian Burns in another jersey. I don't want to see Jeremy Chin in another jersey. Those are guys that we found that we built.
They'll give up
all that much,
J.C. Horn.
I don't think we're going to give up that much. I don't think it's going to take that much, actually. I think that's what the Texans want, but I don't think they're going to get it.
Right.
One
But
thing
who's to say that they won't make Deshaun play?
they could.
I mean,
They could.
Well,
I
what do you
they-
mean by that?
No, let me rephrase that. I don't think they could make him,
Could-
but they could say, "Well, you're going to play. You don't want to play quarterback, fine." They could just be an ass about it, but Lovie Smith wouldn't do that. But they could make him line up on punt
The
returns
owner
or
will.
kick returns.
He has no problem being an ass.
Yeah,
But Deshaun needs to play this year.
he does.
Because
He
let's face
really
it, his
does.
value is going to drop if he sits out this year.
He really does. And I think the Texans' price will drop if teams remain not interested in it over that issue. But I think there's going to be teams. A lot of people sort of cancel out the Eagles. I think the Eagles have the ammo already, draft pick wise, and I think they will be more active because it in the combine they were very interested in trading for Russell Wilson, but Wilson
he wouldn't lift his trade clause to come
he
here.
wouldn't come here. He really didn't want to go to Philadelphia, but he wanted to go to Denver, and the Seahawks didn't want to trade him to an NFC team.
I think he's
That's why
getting
he's in
suspended
Denver.
for like 6 games at least.
Well,
So
he
listen-
probably will. But even with the Eagles have two.
It would
Two
drive down his
quarterbacks
market
with-
value though if he's suspended.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he's
the
about that.
NFL probably won't announce that until regular season.
But I mean, Kevin, listen, at this point in time, knowing how there was still a bunch of interest in Deshaun, even before these charges were cleared up, like I honestly think that teams don't give a shit, including
point.
the Panthers. I think that, even if they issue him a 4-game suspension, like the Panthers have the most expensive backup in the NFL in the name of Sam Darnold. So
But they can
I
use
mean,
that
I-
as leverage as like what to trade.
I really just don't think that, especially now that he's been cleared, I kind of think that his value might be just as much, if not more, than it's ever been. I wanted to take a minute to play a clip. This is the first time that Deshaun spoke to people since this entire thing has happened. Short little clip.
Definitely a very emotional moment for me. I know we're far from being done handling what we need to handle on the legal side, but today is definitely a big day, and I thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for letting the truth be heard, and I think everyone that was a part of this, of seeing and hearing both sides, and that's what my point and my team wanted to do is have a fair slate of us telling our side of the story, and letting the conclusion come down to what happened today, and that's what the grand jury decided on. So, yeah, thank you, and I see my Lord and Savior, and just gonna keep fighting to rebuild my name and rebuild my appearance in the community, and we're gonna continue to, on the legal side, off the field, handle what we need to handle, but also ready to get back on the field, been prepping for that, and ready to go for that. So thank my family, all my close supporters that's been behind me this past year. Thank my team that's been behind me and supporting me and keeping me up this past year. And I'm going to continue to just keep pushing forward and build my name back to where it was, if not better.
So this is the question that I had. I talked to this. I talked about this with Kenneth a little bit before the show. All the rumors is that the Panthers, they were willing to trade for Deshaun Watson last season before the trade deadline. So that basically means even before any of this got cleared up, the Panthers were still interested in bringing him here. Now that Deshaun has been cleared of all this, do you think that their willingness to accept him, even when he didn't clear all that stuff, do you think that maybe moves the Panthers up his list of preferred destinations? Like the fact that, David Tepper and the Panthers ownership believed in him through the whole process, like, does that kind of make us more favorable to him, do you think?
Let me throw this out real quick. let's also remember that this week, just a few days ago, the Watson agent and camp started following the Panthers on Twitter.
I saw that.
It's the only team they followed. Let's also remember from day one, there's been one team stand behind Deshaun Watson that was willing to trade for him, like Cody said, last year, even after all this came out, and said, that's good, we'll deal with it, just come to us. And that was the Panthers.
What's his other team destinations? Like, who's other involved?
Well,
So-
the rumor was the Seahawks.
Here, some of the teams that you hear that you're interested are the Seattle Seahawks, because they have all the picks now that they traded Russell Wilson away.
Aren't they
have
trading
picks.
DJ Metcalf?
DK Metcalf. So, and that's another thing too. All of the destinations that are kind of rumored to be in the in the know of being able to land Deshaun, like none of them have preferred ideal situations. Like, apparently Jonathan Jones put out a list of all the things that Deshaun wants in a new team, and quite frankly, none of them really check all those boxes. He reportedly wants a good head coach, a good offensive line, a good defense. I don't know how, like, yeah, go ahead, man.
I think that was more of a his whole situation. I think that's what he was looking for before he got in his situation. I think his options are very limited now. I don't think there's going to be as many teams that are going to want to trade for him.
There's now. It was reported that there are now. This is this week. Ian Rappaport shared it. A few others, ESPN guys. There are 10 teams currently interested in Deshaun Watson. 10 teams that are following this. And I think it was Ian Rappaport. No, it was Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter says, "Be careful. Some of these some of these teams, you would be shocked at doing it." That's what I threw in the Eagles a lot. The Eagles have everything. The Eagles have 3 first-round picks this year. They could give all 3 this year, or they could give 2 and 1 next year. So
the Vikings could be an asset.
Browns could be an asset.
Yeah, that's what I say. And the Browns are one that seems to be a dark horse candidate too.
Yeah.
And I mean, and some of these teams would have quarterbacks to send back to them, but at the same time, I'm not certain that they're looking for a quarterback.
Also, like
AFC, I think any team he gets him will be in the NFC. I don't think that.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
you may be right.
Yeah.
The teams that come to the top of my head are Tampa Bay, Seattle, maybe Philadelphia, although they have publicly committed to Jalen Hurts, but take that for what it's worth. And I think the Minnesota Vikings would be in on that too, because they would also just be able to send over their expensive quarterback and just be able to kind of trade those two things. I don't know how many of you saw it, but I put together a show last night about theoretical trades for Deshaun Watson. And I feel like, people last night kind of balked at, what we might have to give up or some of the scenarios that I put forth. But I really think if we're hearing reports that there are 10 teams that are going to be interested in Deshaun Watson, guys, we're going to have to give up a pretty penny to go and get Deshaun Watson. And this goes back. And this, goes back to what Nick was talking about too. Like, being in a scenario where you could be paying too much for this quarterback. How much of it is too much? Is it depleting our whole entire team? And I don't know, man. Who, the Texans?
No, our record.
Our records were 5. Well, 5
we were
and 12.
5 and 12.
Yeah,
So
first team to ever go 5 and 12.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's so hard to replace
man.
the quarterback spot. That's my opinion. It's a lot harder to replace your quarterback than it would be to replace a safety or even.
We can replace the defensive end and the safety.
exactly.
Right, exactly. And
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. It's just you guys are insane for the amount of money the amount of assets that we're going to give up to get them. especially given the fact that we don't have very many pick assets. And that's the biggest thing that
I get that. It's just that when you have Deshaun Watson, he's still young enough. You could, build a team around him for the next 5 to 7, however long we have him after that.
You won't take.
I don't disagree with that, but
no, I get what you're saying. I 100% agree with what you're
that's
saying.
too far down the road.
But nobody's off the table other than J.C. Horn at this point. I mean, the second year of his rookie deal, I make sure I kept J.C. But other than that, you can pick and you can mix and match whatever you want.
It's been well reported that Houston Texans have not have commented, but several sources in there, beat reporters said the Texans won't deal with Carolina unless they get Brian Burns. He has to be on the table.
Then Brian Burns.
But even if you throw in and just, Derek Brown. Derek Brown would be a guy I'd want to throw in because he's a defensive tackle. It's kind of easy to get that big guy in the middle.
Throw in Cam Irving too.
But they want starters. They don't want our garbage.
And Pat Elflin.
They don't want our garbage. I thought of that already. I really have. And they don't want our garbage though. Because if we could sucker the whole thing and give them Sam Darnold, I would give him extra pick for that. But anyway.
But hell, like not knowing. I said this last night too. Not knowing if if Deshaun is going to get suspended by the NFL, at this point, let Sam stay and just be the most expensive backup in the NFL. I mean, maybe you could trade him away, but it's like he has zero value. No one is looking at Sam Darnold.
I mean,
like,
guys,
that's in my opinion. Sam Darnold. Here's what I think is going to happen to him. In honesty.
I mean, he's going to be on this team.
Yeah,
I don't think there's no way that he's going to be.
I believe at the end of right before last cuts. Now this is depending on the quarterback situation at the time, okay? But if we have some reliable quarterbacks, I wouldn't be shocked to see them cut Sam right before regular season, and that way they could split his cap hit into 2 years. That way it'd be a little bit better for us.
And get it done and over.
Well, that would be dependent on what on other things they do, though. Because if we trade for Deshaun Watson, right off the bat, we're $7 million in the hole. That's not counting the cap hit we'll take for the other players if we take one. So,
Jay Stubbs, what up?
But I mean, guys, think about it this way. As we've said before, we've had 14 months for Carolina to think about this. They've been in contact with Houston multiple times. They have an idea of what the framework would be in order to get a deal done.
They already have. This is my question. I know Brad's in the chat. He's learned a lot about cap. I've tried to look this up. I can't. Am I not correct? All we have to do is be under cap on the 16th at the beginning of the league year. Then if we go over cap, we don't have to worry about next year, correct? I believe that's how it is.
Yeah, there's a deadline. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I believe that's how it is. And I say that because I was looking at overthecap.com. They have a calculator on there, and it's a lot easier to do than I thought it was going to be. But I typed in and traded for Deshaun Watson on that calculator. It automatically shot my cap this year hit to over $7 million. But then you could turn around and cut or trade those players that you want to on our roster. And messing around that, I figured that Derek Anderson would give us, if we threw Derek Anderson
Robbie
in there.
Derek Anderson.
Yeah, Robbie.
Yeah, okay.
Why the Lord, they didn't even remotely. Anyway, yeah. I doubt seriously Derek can play wide receiver. Anyway.
Hey, real quick, before we go forward, let me welcome Jay Stubbs to the conversation. Jay Stubbs, what's up, bro?
What's up, guys? Deshaun Watson mania.
Shit, here we go, man. And then hold on, we got one more person, and then Brad is indeed in the chat.
Yeah.
Brad, what's going on, brother?
What's up, buddy?
Oh man, I kind of hoped you would get indicted so this shit would get stopped. To be honest with you, like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I just really wanted, here's my thing with the Deshaun Watson trade. Okay, I understand the most important position in all of professional sports is the franchise quarterback. I totally understand that. I get that. The last time that he was on a decimated, dilapidated roster, he went 4-12. Okay, he had one of the most historic quarterback seasons in NFL history. Still went 4-12. I mean, I get the argument that having a franchise quarterback means that more free agents will want to come to you, but that's not really happening. You don't see people beating down Green Bay's doors to go up and play there because they're not a freaking free agent destination. They're just not.
That's a really
good point. But still, point being, I mean, I'm just saying, like, that argument I don't necessarily know holds a whole lot of weight.
Go ahead.
I mean, the ethical implications are at this point irrelevant. He's not going to be indicted. It's a he said, she said situation at this point.
Right.
So we need to just, if you can't stomach him being on the team, then you should have left it 6 months ago, because I mean, this isn't going to stop until he's traded at this point.
Right. So I wanted to kind of jump in on that too. And listen, I feel like a lot of you might disagree with me, and that's fine. That's what this discussion is about. Listen, I love our Panther players. I love what they've done for the team. I love that they've been struggling their ass off and fighting to win football games, even in spite of the ineptitude that we have at our coaching positions. And, I mean, you all know everything that we've been going through. But my thing is this, man. I mean, looking at it from a rationale perspective, I don't know that any of the players that we're talking about trading to get Deshaun, none of them say irreplaceable to me. As great as they are of players, they're just not irreplaceable. If you look at Jeremy Chin, Kyle Hamilton coming out in the draft this year, that's literally his comparison. He's a big, fast linebacker safety hybrid that can do a little bit of everything. Brian Burr. I mean, not Brian Burns, Derek Brown. Look at Derek Brown. I mean, he's been okay for us, but look at Jordan Davis coming through the draft this year out of Georgia. Probably even bigger and stronger and better college film than Derek Brown coming out. Then you look at all the corners like Sauce Gardner and Stingley, and it's like, yes, for as much as I love these players, I keep on hearing this argument that, but you have to absolutely cut the Panthers roster in order for us to make this happen. And I just flat out don't feel like that is very true. I think especially when you look at what our defense did last year and in all the big moments where we needed them most, they didn't make the stops anyway. So I don't feel like you're talking about us losing these transcendent superstars. I don't necessarily know that I agree with that. And knowing that we would be able to have second through seventh round picks going forward, even after we traded away our first round picks.
You won't have.
I just don't. My last final thing, and then I'll pass the mic. My last final thing is that knowing that you have a legitimate franchise quarterback who once upon a time was being talked about in the likes of Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady for just the kind of physical talent that they possess. I mean, to me, this doesn't even seem like we're doing too much to make the team where it wouldn't be able to compete even if we had Deshaun Watson.
So I get all that, but I think you're making a really big assumption. Like, so before the trade deadline last year, and there's a couple people on Twitter who have confirmed this, that we offered the Houston Texans 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a 3rd-round pick, a 5th-round pick, and Brian Burns. We also offered them CMC. We also offered them Jeremy Chin. We offered a different combination of different players, and they still said no. That's the starting price. Okay, that's the beginning. And so the idea that we're going to have our 2nd through 7th round picks, you're not going to have your 2nd or 7th round picks for 3 years. That's not going to happen.
Hey, real quick, just to, Grizz, I never said that they are not transcendent players, bro. Don't put words in my mouth. What I'm saying is that for as good as they are not irreplaceable. I'm sorry, they're just not. Every single draft, I look at all these players coming out, and there are freak athletes that are coming through the draft that just the year before, people didn't know their names. And that they have one good season, they blow up, And you have these players that are more ready at these positions than ever before. I never said that our players are not transcendent, bro. Sorry, Brad. I had to put that out there.
No,
but
dude, you're good. You're good. But I just think that the reality is, and the idea behind this trade from the Houston Texans perspective is to cripple whoever team trades for him, to put them in a situation where they cannot put a competent team around him unless that coaching staff is good at developing day 3 picks, because that's all you're going to have left for 3 years.
But aren't we already crippled?
Our defense is not.
I don't know. I think
and since the 2015, honestly, what does our defense want us?
But again, I'm going to go back to this again. The last time that Deshaun Watson wasn't on a dilapidated team, he went 4-12.
That's why we were 5-12 last year.
But hold on. But Brad, isn't it also fair to put in the conversation that the literal 3 years before that, he was going to be the offensive rookie of the year before he tore his ACL. Then he went to the playoffs the next 2 years in a row and was a Pro Bowler all 3 of those years. And even in that season that you're talking about, behind that terrible offensive line, threw for almost 5,000 yards, and that was after DeAndre Hopkins pieced out from the Texans.
Yeah, after the GM/coach traded everybody.
Right. I'm not trying to argue that he's not talented. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that as talented as he is, if you don't have pieces around him, if you don't have if you can't play complementary football, you're not going to win any. You're still going to be a 4-12 team.
I'd rather have a 4-12 team with a franchise quarterback than
Deshaun Watson can win this division, bro. I don't care what y'all say.
Exactly. I'm just saying, look at what we've got now. We've had the same team the last 2 years, and we're 5-12.
Deshaun Watson played in a division with the Colts, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and what's the other team in the AFC South? The Titans. Right? The Titans are the only, for the past few years, have been the only competent team in that division. Okay? And he still couldn't win the division. He still went 4-12. It's not an invalid.
Yeah, but
it's not like he does
that's exactly what I'm saying. You are guaranteeing, and this is what I'm saying. You are guaranteeing that trade is designed specifically to maximize the return of those first-round picks.
Right.
Those first-round picks will be top 10 picks every year that we give them up.
I see what you're saying now.
I disagree.
Well, I mean, if the only way we can fix that, no matter who we trade for, is just win. But the question is going forward. The question is going forward whether you're going to win or not. Because one thing though, the cap going forward, I don't think dead money worries the teams as much as it does the fans and the media. Dead cap just is nothing compared to these teams. So I'm just going to quit worried about dead cap.
And if we're trading, if we're trading some young players, like we're not going to have to pay anybody for the next 4 years. You know what I mean? We're going to be able to.
Yeah.
Well, you got to pay somebody, but I understand what you're saying. But here's the question, though. This year, the question was, should we pay Brian Burns an extension?
Exactly.
So if you question,
he could be in the trade.
Yeah, if you question whether you're going to extend him or not, then chances are, if you can get what you can get. As far as Jeremy Chin, being their head coach is Lovie Smith, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't plan to pull Chin to linebacker, because in the Tampa 2, Chin would fit great at linebacker.
Yeah.
Real quick. Let me add my man Steve to the conversation. Welcome, Steve. Happy you can be a part of the show. And do me a favor, mute your microphone or put some earbuds in, because we're getting a lot of echo coming from your camera. We'll go back to Steve.
Real quick, I'm gonna throw this out there. When I was messing around with that calculator, if you wait until after June the 1st and cut Dennis Daly, and you trade Robbie Anderson and Christian McCaffrey, our cap will go to $50 billion very quickly.
I want us to do.
Let's be honest. I know they say they want a first for Christian McCaffrey. I don't think they're getting a first.
No.
I don't think his trade
Wow.
value is that high.
No, I don't think that either Christian McCaffrey or Robbie Anderson are going to be on this roster come training camp.
I agree with that.
So
if
that's
they
why
would, they would have already negotiated their contracts, and that's what they're prepared
Yeah.
for.
So,
Yeah.
but
They would have
what
been
I
the
would
first
like-
ones to be restructured, but
Right,
they did.
exactly.
yeah, which I
What-
mean, Christian is kind of twofold. It's like the Texans don't want him. People keep making up associations and putting him in there. I believe they would take Anderson before they take McCaffrey. McCaffrey's trade value isn't that high. The injuries scare people, and
I think we should keep him personally because when he whatever, that's another conversation. Sorry.
No, go ahead, man. No, go ahead with that.
We have McCaffrey. We're obviously every Panthers fan knows we're a completely different team, and when he's in, he's a top 5 offensive weapon in the league.
I'm with you.
And it's not like it's a reoccurring injury that's affecting his play. Like, I get the running back position is injury prone. Obviously, you shouldn't pay running backs, but he's not a typical running back. And all of his injuries have been freak injuries besides the hamstring. That was just, awful.
Cody, didn't y'all find out that him and Ian Thomas are basically making the same this year?
No.
It was him and Robbie Anderson is making more money than Christian McCaffrey this year.
Yeah, Ian Thomas is only making $6 million, I think, this year.
That's like $2 million less than McCaffrey, right?
Well,
No, he's
but
making
like
$6 million in general.
Yeah, going back to this point about the division too, though, it's like, guys, literally you could make the argument that a quarterback puts us over the edge in the NFC South. Look at what the Saints have going on. No more Drew
If we
Brees.
have the pieces that we already have.
And
right, but okay,
so for Watson, then we're not going to lose that many pieces to make us as bad as the 4-12 Texans team that.
But that's the
Yeah,
same.
but the NFL now is not what the NFL was back then. The NFL now is grown and it's stronger than it was before. Like, do you really think that's enough to get us over the top?
You know what I love for us to do is like, and I don't know how the cap works. I'm sure it'll be hard to do it with the cap, but we can restructure whatever. If we do trade for Watson, like get that deal done first, and then maybe move McCaffrey, and then move Robbie to get some assets back.
Well,
maybe get a third or.
The real question is, what
fourth.
would you rather trade for, Watson or Garoppolo?
Watson.
Exactly,
the only reason I'd trade for Jimmy Garoppolo is if they took Sam. Then I'd do that.
I think those are going to be your two options, Garoppolo or Watson.
No. So I'm going to be honest. I'm telling you right now, Deshaun Watson will be a Panther by Sunday afternoon. That's going to happen. Like, they're not going to go into next off season. They're not going to go into free agency.
If he wants to be here, I agree.
I think they will do everything. I'm guaranteeing you they will be willing to say, you know what, we'll restructure you to north of $50 million if that's what it takes to get you to waive your franchise tag.
Kemper will fly there himself.
Brad, you've got me feeling all tangly, bro.
Well, Brad,
I'm telling you, it's going to happen. He's going to be a Carolina Panther by the end of Sunday.
Okay, so let me ask you. All right, so Brad, let me go with that a little bit more. What makes you so confident? Is it just because David Tepper's like, this widely reported drive that David has to get Deshaun here at all costs? Like, what leads you to that conclusion?
We've already seen David Tepper overpay and overextend and overdo everything he can to get his guy, right? He offered Matt Rule, sight unseen, a college coach, a record-setting contract in the NFL without him ever coaching in the NFL more than one season. If he wants his guy, he's willing to move heaven and earth to get him. And that includes trading whatever assets are required and paying however much he has to make it happen. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if Deshaun Watson is okay with waiving his no trade clause, he will be a Carolina Panther. They will not get outbid.
Keep in mind everything they gave for Sam Darnold too.
I got a question though.
Keep in mind what they gave for Ian Thomas.
Yeah, go ahead, J Stubbs.
So like with like, I see what y'all are saying about tearing the team down or whatever the fuck that means. Like, how many wins were we gonna have next year if we don't make any trades and we just draft and what you think 4?
I think regardless of who our quarterback is, we're only going to have 2 wins next year.
So like, would you rather get Deshaun and then just start all over? You know, I mean, obviously he wants to have pieces around him, but like, would you not take a 9-8 record next year and then try to refixture the cap and get some pieces around him? Like, or you want to just wait for the next 2 years to hopefully we draft a quarterback? You know what I mean?
And guys, also remember at the draft, at the combine, when Scott Fitterer was talking, he said there were other ways to acquire picks rather than trading out of 6. So they've already been sitting around talking about who they can trade and who they can move on from in certain situations. So they've been planning this out. This isn't something that just creeped up on them. They've been planning this out for months.
Which is why they're not restructuring McCaffrey at all.
Exactly.
Like I said during the beginning, last offseason at the trade deadline, they offered 3 firsts, 2 seconds, Brian Burns and Jeremy Chin. They offered those players. That was the package they offered. So that is the starting price.
When did they do this? This past season? Before
the trade deadline, yeah. There are multiple sources that have confirmed it at this point.
Okay.
I don't think they did, man, because of the legal situation.
No, they did. They did not care.
It surprised me. David
Tepper didn't care about the legal situation.
Well, I mean, Dolphins were probably
the only reason to stop that trade was Deshaun Watson.
Hey, can one do me a favor?
You're right.
Brad,
if you're right, it was Deshaun Watson said
okay,
no.
so hold on. Brad, do me a favor, because I know you were in the chat room last night and you mentioned it. When I was putting forth my scenarios, you said that you can't guarantee certain first-round picks so long into the future. Do we know how long that is? So basically, I need someone to look this up for me. Can the Carolina Panthers offer their 2025 first-round pick in a trade for Deshaun? Because this is where I am. If you look at the video I played last night, I can even bring back up those scenarios for people to call me crazy again if you wanted me to. But if you were to send 3 players and 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson, but we're able to still let us continue to keep our draft this year, then I could make the argument that a lot of the pieces that we would be missing out on,
they're going to want the pick this year, bro.
Yeah, they're going to want
top 10 pick.
I agree with you. It'd be better to keep this pick and then trade, 3 years after.
Keep in mind also that the Houston Texans also have a bunch of draft picks as it is.
That's true.
Like that. So I'm the draft tech writer for the Houston Texans as well as the Carolina Panthers on drafttech.com. Shameless plug. Check that out.
Well, they better get a whole lot more, bro.
So yeah, I know, but they have first round this year, and I know they have 2 second. They have, I believe, 2 seconds and 2 thirds. So they do, and they have a premium pick this year. Anyway.
If Scott Fitterer will pull that off, Cody, that would be remarkable.
Right.
But I think it's unrealistic.
Per operations.nfl.com, you can only trade the next 3 years worth of draft picks. So they can only trade the 2022, 2023, and 2024 draft picks until the night of the 2022 draft, at which point they can trade the 2023, 2024, and 2025 draft picks.
So we wouldn't be able to do it now. It would have to be a draft night type of
and
thing.
And it's not going to. I'm telling you, like everybody's reporting, he will be dealt before free agency starts. That's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
According to a gentleman on Twitter, he's already been spotted at the Houston airport getting on a jet.
Really?
Destination unknown.
Bro, can you imagine if we're live doing this show and we get to break the news? Dude, I don't even know.
He's like randomly at a Hornets game this weekend. That'd be crazy.
This will be a
craziness, man. And again, it's also like, go ahead.
I'm going to say this real quick. I've noticed on Twitter, I don't know how y'all follow me on Twitter, I'm against trading for Deshaun Watson just because I think it's too much to give. But if it happens, I'm going to be right here in support of my team. I'm not going to be one of these that are going to bail just because I don't like something. Trust me, I didn't like a lot of things they did, and I have found out later on that I was entirely wrong. We drafted a certain linebacker from Penn State that I said was a bust pick. It was a stupid pick. We should have took the tackle. That tackle's pretty good, but that linebacker was a little bit better. Go ahead. I was wrong then.
And I'm right there with you, Ken. I'm very happy. I'm very happy to eat crow if I'm wrong. Okay, but I feel like we'd just be giving up too much. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that if Deshaun Watson's innocent, I'm happy that he is. You know, I'm all for equal rights, that sort of deal, whatever it is. But you know, it's just we're giving up too much, and we're gonna have to give up this year's pick. There's no way they're passing up on number 6. Okay, especially when we're getting Deshaun. But at the end of the day, he's going to be a Seahawk. He is a baby Russell Wilson. He is, dude.
I don't agree with
You
that.
think he wants to go there?
So you know what? I'll give credit to Tony. Last night he made a very good argument, and I think that there is some weight to it. Seattle is a very liberal city, and you know, it seems to me like if there was any market that would have a problem with a player like Deshaun, it would probably be a city like Seattle.
So
it rains a lot in Seattle, bro.
Take that for what it's worth. Go ahead, Brad.
That is 100% not true. The thing about that you got to remember about Seattle is they don't encompass just the city of Seattle. They are the entire Pacific Northwest. So Washington, Idaho, Oregon, even part down into Utah. I mean, they mostly root for the Seahawks, right? Northern, parts of California.
True.
I'm going to tell you right now, not a single person in the entire. I talked to several of my neighbors who know that they're in for the Deshaun Watson trade. They're all about it. They don't care if they wouldn't have cared if he'd have been indicted. To be honest with you, they do not care.
Yeah.
I
think that there's probably a lot of fans when you're in a position where you don't have a franchise quarterback. You know, we're getting into that desperation mode, and that's what Panthers are going through right now. Hey, I want to try this one more time. Steve, you with me? Steve, can you hear me? Nah, it ain't working. Steve got some computer issues going on. I'm trying, bro. I really am trying to get him on the show, but it ain't.
Scam likely.
But dude, that's what I asked him to give me the thumbs up to tell me that he's not trying to flash the show. He did it. Normally, it's a video of somebody just like sitting there, and then they take it away at the last second. But but I wanted to ask you all that too. Like, what are your opinions of fans that are bailing on the football team? Like, do you think that they're justified? Like, there's a lot of dude. I see a lot of well-known Panther Twitter people that are like, oh, I guess I gotta buy my Cowboys hat or fucking whatever team that they're talking about jumping ship to. Like, what are your initial thoughts on that? Like, people that are
that's
like
not a real fan, and that's what a lot of these good teams now is. They're not good fans. I think you might have talked about that in a previous video.
Why would they jump?
Because they think that he's a sexual abuser, that he abuses.
You're going to go be a Cowboys fan?
Exactly. Didn't Jerry Jones just fill somebody up the other day?
Yeah, he knocked some girl up.
I get it. I mean, I've been conflicted about it. Like the whole fact that they're willing to sell the farm for someone that has that sort of the fact that they did not care about the legal implications. Like that it just tells you how desperate and fucking stupid the management is for this team. I mean, to be perfectly honest, because if they would have traded it for him before there was any resolution and he would have gotten indicted, he would have never taken a snap for the Carolina.
Could you imagine?
And they would have looked so incredibly stupid in the process.
Yeah. Could you imagine if the Lakers traded Kobe after their whole rape scandal? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, talent is talent, and unfortunately in America, like, if you're innocent until proven guilty, and that's what it is, bro. So, you know what I'm saying?
Man. And then also, like, and then also it's like, going back to Ben Roethlisberger as well, man. He also had a bunch of different things said about him. There were people that were
Cody. The timing of the whole thing was just suspect to me. That's just to me.
Yep.
I mean, pretty much every team in the NFL has some sort of something like that.
They said he was fully cooperative with all the FBI, everything. Had proof of everything. So
and just as long as we're like, talking about this, Deshaun never wanted to settle. He always wanted. He never just wanted to pay them to make it go away. Part of this entire process for him, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I also firmly believe that that's part of the initial reason why he turned down the Panthers the first time, if that's true. I do think that there is a part of Deshaun going through all of this when you have had your name besmirched and thrown in the mud and just tarnished. Like, I think that there was a real part of him that wanted to prove his own
Cody,
innocence.
he wanted to go to Miami with Flores, and when that fell through, it's free game now. That's all that was. He was trying to get directed to Miami, in my opinion.
Let me ask you something. Our quarterbacks coach was a quarterbacks coach for Deshaun Watson and the Texans. In the middle of the season year.
Good point.
In the middle of the season last year, there could be no communication between Watson and the quarterbacks coach, unless it took place behind the curtain, so to speak. But
that's not appropriate thing for this subject.
Yeah, exactly. That's why a lot of them don't do it anyway. I mean, not all of them do it, but you don't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm slow there today, Bill. I didn't catch that till just now. But anyway, it's because of my injury. That's it. All because of my injury today. That's what I'm going to blame everything on that. Anyway, but the point of it is, you never know when the offseason, Deshaun may have questions. So he called up the guy he knew was on the roster. Also, coincidentally, we do have the offensive line coach that was with the Texans last year on our roster.
The entire world knows we want Deshaun Watson, like David Tepper.
Exactly, and it ain't no secret. I'd like to find out something, and I actually hit up a couple Baylor fans on Twitter. And boy, that was a mistake. But anyway, just because I'm not a great deal. I don't do a lot of college football. I watch it on occasion, but you guys are much more entwined with it. I know Baylor's in Texas, and Deshaun was in Texas. I wonder if Deshaun actually doesn't like Matt Rule, or that's all a media hype thing and fan hype thing that he doesn't.
Well, but also it's like, how do you don't really know if you like a person or not. Like,
exactly.
If none of us have ever met Matt Rule, right? He's probably a good guy. No one's saying that he's a piece of shit human being. Yeah. But the only thing that you would know about him as a coach is, one, based on what the media is saying, what the fans are saying, and just overall public perception of what that team is going through and doing. And listen, it's like, you understand that the Panthers, looking at what they've been through, we're not the most pristine destination. On the other hand, nobody thought that the Cincinnati Bengals were a pristine destination. And you can literally make the case that team, Joe burrowed its way to the Super Bowl. I mean, when you look at how many times he was sacked, this is something, I actually think that those two are very similar football players, Joe Burrow and Deshaun Watson.
That defense was nasty.
Let me ask you something real quick. Let me ask everybody real quick. If the Panthers lined up Deshaun Watson, like Brad says, and by Sunday he's a Panther, a free agent hits, does that turn around for some of these free agents who are looking for a new team?
It could.
Do they say, "Well, Watson's there"? I'm
gonna be real with you. If we decide, if we trade for Deshaun Watson, we will not have cap space to make moves.
Hardly any.
I'm aware of that. I looked that up already, but we could get cap space. But then, of course, our only point was,
we could always restructure Deshaun.
Well, that's what I was brought up earlier, though. If you could go, okay, on the 16th we have to be under cap. That's understood. On the 16th, free agents open. On the 17th, we've signed a bunch of free agents and we're automatically over cap. Other teams have done that through the league. I don't think we have to worry about being under cap until at the end of the league next year. If that's the case, then come the 17th or the 16th or the 17th, even whatever, when we start signing players, we don't have to worry about the cap. Well, that matter goes by June the 1st. You can always trade them two gentlemen I mentioned before and you can get rid of dump them anyway and call him June 1st.
Let me ask you this. This is from Q Gibson 6 in the chat. I started this from earlier. Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns, our sixth pick this year, 2023 first, 2024 first. Who thinks that this is too much for Deshaun Watson?
No, I would do that in a heartbeat. I'd do that in a heartbeat all day.
And remember, this draft class ain't that high. Like,
now, would you rather get rid of Jeremy Chin or Robbie Anderson?
Oh, Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson, 100%.
I mean,
so you'd rather get rid of Robbie. Okay.
Robbie.
Now, is that right? Now, obviously, I know that he means, Jeremy Chin means a lot more to us than Robbie Anderson. But, my question is this: is there any, legitimacy to the idea that maybe you do everything to keep this offense in place as it is? 2 seasons ago, we had 2,000-yard receivers in Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. You add potentially Christian McCaffrey coming back to this. Maybe you can keep all those players.
Denver gave up. They kept most of their offense. I mean, Fant maybe, but they had a tight end waiting.
Yep. And I think we have a wide receiver waiting to replace Robbie Anderson. I mean, we spent a second on him preparing for this, or not maybe for this incident, but preparing to let Robbie go maybe.
And you still,
like I said,
you haven't played really.
I would like for us to do the trade and then turn around and trade assets.
I tell you why receiver. I tell you why receiver that I'm kind of high on, but he don't get a lot of conversation with it. And that's Ziegler. I think he could be a lot better than he has been.
Who?
Giving him a better
Zylstra, Brian
Zylstra.
Yes.
I'm not
Ziegler.
Ziegler.
The only Ziegler I know is a wrestler. I'm not even a wrestler.
That pain medicine I took earlier might have affected my mouth.
Yeah, good.
That's what it is.
Yeah, good. And then also too, another thing to realize too is we have not seen anywhere near the best from Terrace Marshall Jr. and Shi Smith.
Exactly.
Yes, and those are two guys that I think we're really going to see step their game up too. And can I really tell you something that a lot of y'all might get pissed off at? I'm low key mad Joe Brady still isn't here. If I'm really being real with you, that kind of explosive offense, that passing offense that we didn't have the offensive line to produce, we didn't have the type of quarterback to produce those kind of results. Man, when you look at what he was able to scheme up and how many throws were missed by Sam Darnold and then Cam Newton for a little bit too, it's like
getting stacked.
Yeah, man. Like I don't know, man. I think that we might end up regretting that too. But also, it goes back to
run the ball and throw it though, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
throwing it.
But see, and that's the other thing. I mean, we're not going to have enough. I mean, assuming we don't. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that we're because I think that we're going to get a quarterback. If Deshaun Watson doesn't come to Carolina, if he doesn't waive his no trade clause, if he just is adamant like you can't pay me enough to go there, I'm not going, right? If that's how he responds, then we're going to go after Jimmy G. That's going to happen.
No, we're not. He just had shoulder surgery, bro.
They don't care. They're not going to. They're not going to go in. They're not drafting. They're not going to draft a quarterback without somebody that they feel like they can do.
Not Jimmy G, though, bro.
I refuse to believe they're going after Mr. Cripple. Mr. Cripple, who
shoulder surgery.
Multiple outlets have reported that the priority number one.
Multiple outlets could be wrong. They have been wrong.
They could be wrong, but they said.
I mean, no. Listen, I agree with Brad to a certain extent. Like the Panthers, they have a hierarchy. They have a list. I think they want to be able to address the quarterback in free agency as opposed to doing it in the draft. And I think Deshaun is clearly their number one. We know that. But again, it's not outside of the realm of possibility that they're thinking, well, all right, Jimmy G is the backup plan. But again, like that's why I'm okay with all these different trade packages for Deshaun, y'all. I am so tired of being in this quarterback purgatory. It's like all these guys that we've been mentioning, Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G, even going back to Teddy Bridgewater. It's like we know we have firsthand accounts that is not going to be enough for us. The Panthers are not the 49ers. We don't have the kind of football team where a basic to average type of quarterback is going to be enough to get you over the edge.
Especially
we
after
know
shoulder surgery.
we know that isn't true. And if you want to pay, you have to. If you want to play, you have to pay. And especially knowing that a bunch of teams are going to be interested. I'm telling you, man, that franchise quarterback changes everything for football teams. Especially when you look at the playoffs this last year and what they were, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. It's like Matt Stafford, all these big time quarterbacks. They are what put their team over the edge. And if Carolina doesn't have that, then we're going to be floundering at a time when our division rivals could not be weaker than they are right now. I mean, literally, all of them could not be weaker than they are right now.
Well, I mean, look at the Bengals. I mean, look what happened to them over a 3-year stretch. I mean, I'm not saying Joe Burrow got them to the Super Bowl, but like he was a main asset to get them.
It was a damn big part for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But I believe they're backup, man.
I believe that. I mean, if you would have said Kirk Cousins, that to me that sounds more realistic than what I'm saying.
He's making more money than Watson is, isn't he? Like, he'd have a bigger cap hit than Watson.
But I'm still saying that to me that's more realistic for
we would make.
Jimmy G flat out would be the worst decision this team has ever made in the last 10 years.
Yeah, for
the last 10 years.
Well, we did take a long snapper last year.
Jimmy G would be the worst decision in 10 years.
Darnold.
Bringing back Jake Delhomme.
So, dude, you know what? I was literally about to be all in with you, but then I remembered, we already did that whole Sam Darnold thing, bro.
5th-year option.
So, I don't know. It would definitely be a bad idea going forward, too, especially seeing how Jimmy Garoppolo never stays healthy. But, hey, real quick, let me add some people here. My man, Kib, from the 9 Lives Panther podcast. Kib, what's going on, bro? You with me?
What's up, brothers? How y'all feeling?
What's good, man? What's good? Happy you can join us.
Yes, great news today.
Man. Let me also try this one more time. We've been having some technical difficulties. Steve, are you there? Are you able to hear us? Are you able to talk?
You remember Titanic? Is there
my man Steve just struggling today?
Can you hear me?
Steve, we're gonna make it happen one of these days, man. Sorry your computer's messing up on you. But Kib, let me go back to you. Let me get you in on this conversation, man. I don't know if I've ever gotten your opinion on the whole Deshaun Watson thing.
No, not yet.
Where's your head at? What are you thinking? And man, just tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's I watch a lot of podcasts, right? and everyone has like an opinion on Deshaun Watson, whether it be his legal troubles, whether we should get him, whether it's what are we going to give up to get him. It's just so much out there. But I stand clear. Listen, whatever sport it is, you want to get a superstar, you're going to have to overpay. It does not matter if it's baseball, if it's soccer, if it's basketball. Soccer is a little different, but if it's basketball, it does not matter. You have to overpay for a superstar because not only are they game changing, they're locker room guys, they're leaders. They will a different aspect of the team. So getting this guy, you're gonna have to give up a lot, but you're also in a very unique situation. If Deshaun Watson says, I really like Carolina, that's really the only place I really want to go to, well, leverage is on your side. That's what a lot of people are not thinking. Leverage is on your side because if he's willing to sign his no trade clause up for Carolina, then David Tepper has a distinct leverage of saying, hey, your quarterback doesn't really want to go anywhere else. We seem to be the only place he actually wants to go to. So here, take these 3 first-round picks, a couple of seconds, and maybe a player. And we're going to start off that. I may go lower, I may go higher, but that's really where I'm at. I mean, if you have a chance to get him, you got to go get him. Quarterbacks are very valuable.
They are valuable, man. And again, I know I sound like a broken record, but to me, it is it does bear repeating over and over again too, man. That is like, if you want to take that next step, timing is everything.
Mhm.
And I've been calling David Tepper Mr. Day Late, Dollar Short because he's been behind the curve on everything. I don't know. We'll see how it pans out with this. But so much of this to me is the moment about what our division looks like. You're talking about wanting to go to the playoffs, wanting to win the Super Bowl. The first step to doing that is winning your division. Matt Ryan is another year older with a new head coach with a whole lot going on around him. Calvin Ridley isn't going to play next year because he's gambling on NFL games. No more Julio Jones. You look at the New Orleans Saints. You look at the Saints. No more Sean Payton. No more Drew Brees. No more Teron Armstead, who's going to be gone in free agency. No one knows what the deal with Alvin Kamara is, who apparently is beating people up in casinos or some shit, whatever. There's all this, and then, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they literally just lost Tom Brady, maybe the greatest, football player, sports star ever, and it's a moment in time where the Panthers can literally take that next step right now if they go out there and put forth an offer that is going to make the Texans salivate. I have no problem giving I'll say this and I'll pass the mic. I have no problem giving up just about any player on this football team. It doesn't mean that we're better without them. It just means that, to what Kib said, we are going to have to do whatever we can to get that player that's a true game changer. And I think that's what they're going to do.
Just to kind of deflate my own theory. Apparently, Move the Sticks was on Twitter, just announced that the expectation from most of the sources he's talked to in the league is that Deshaun Watson will be a Seattle Seahawk by the end of the weekend.
I don't know about that.
So who's saying
that's
Move the Sticks. So Daniel Jeremiah.
But Cody, this is what I don't understand. That division is hell right now. I mean, you got a lot of good teams out there.
Yeah.
Why? And with the situation of Russell Wilson and what he was not able to do when he was healthy, why on earth would I want to go there? I mean, I don't know what Deshaun wants, and nobody actually knows what this man really wants. But he has followed
It'd
the
be better
Panthers.
to stay with the Texans before he goes to Seattle.
Exactly, my
so.
Well,
But I'm all for him going up there, though. I really am. And my backup plan would be the draft, not free agency.
So
I don't care to go to free agency, but there's nobody out there really worth spending money on.
Here's the thing about the draft.
Let me just add. Let me add this to the conversation real quick. 2 hours ago, Jonathan Jones said things could change, but I'm told Watson will want to take some time meeting with teams before determining where he feels comfortable waiving his no trade clause. Since a trade is more likely days away than hours away. And yeah, by the way, I agree with that too. I think, but a lot of those things are superficial, right? Oh, this team is a good team on paper. But a lot of the times it takes sitting down with someone, listening to a vision that they have for the football team and what they want to do in their future. I think the fact that the Panthers have been all in on Deshaun, I think he'll at least grant us a conversation.
Yeah, Cody,
I don't
think
know,
about
man.
it. We're the only team who never ever took their name out the hat. Never.
Yeah.
Always reported the entire time that we wanted.
If Matt Rule mentions his 7-year plan, he might not.
Yeah. Right.
So I guess my question for the folks in this chat, and I want to know how everybody feels because it's worth discussing. If we trade, let's just say that the package they offered at the trade deadline last year goes through, and that's what it takes. It takes 3 firsts, 2 seconds, a third, and then Brian Burns and Jeremy Chin, right? Let's just say that's where we give up. What we give up. Is everybody going to feel okay with that if we go 2-15 next year, 5-13 the year after that, or 5-12 the year after that?
I don't see us going that way.
Yeah, but then again,
I'm just asking. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just asking.
2 games, bro.
Well, so hold on. Well, let me
That rule's gone.
We play
Well,
Atlanta.
hold on. I want to answer Brad, but first, before I do, let me welcome Chad to the stream. Chad, what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
Chiller, man. Happy to have you. I want to ask you a question here in a minute. I saw some of your Twitter comments. I want to get you in. I want you to be a part of this discussion, man. I want opinions from all over, man. People who feel everything. But going back to what Brad said, though, Brad, under that scenario that you just laid out, that's essentially saying that everything that the Panthers would have done to get Deshaun Watson means that it's a failure. If the scenario that you just painted, if that happens, well, then it clearly wasn't worth it, though. Right. But I feel like you can still make a legitimate case that it does not have to be like that for the Panthers if we traded for Deshaun Watson. More importantly, what a catastrophic collapse it would have to be if the Panthers somehow managed to win 2 less games next year with Deshaun Watson than we did with our, quarterback carousel that we had going on last year. It's like you would have to talk about just the wheels falling off. For it to get that much worse. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, go ahead.
Look at the schedule next year. We play the NFC West. We play the AFC North.
And the NFC South.
And Detroit.
I understand the NFC South. I understand that. But all I'm throwing out there is there's a real that next year's schedule is a hard road to hoe. It just is.
Yep.
It's not going to be an easy schedule.
We could be in every game with Deshaun.
I can honestly say the NFC South, the winner of the division might have a losing record.
I think that's a real possibility. Yes, I think the 7 wins will get you the division next year.
The schedule always. I hear this a lot. The schedule looks rough right now, but you don't know what next year is going to bring. You don't know what next month's going to bring.
Yeah.
I thought last
one
year
of these players
injuries happen.
You don't know when the injuries happen. You don't know where a player just decides he's had enough. You don't know when something's going to happen and a coach loses his job. Things happen. They just do. The Rams head quarterback Stafford. You know what? He's had injuries before. He's an older player. You don't know when something stupid in preseason causes him to break his leg and he's out for the remainder of the year. That team will bottom out without that. And I mean, they're going to lose quite a bit this year in that process.
Another thing I just want to mention is that, like, even if you don't go Watson with this route and you do, draft a quarterback in any draft in the next 3 to 4 years, there's no guarantee that quarterback's going to be good. That's the thing.
No.
Or getting close to Deshaun Watson.
There's a guarantee that Deshaun's proven himself.
But if you draft
as long as that the year off doesn't mess with them.
If you draft a quarterback,
true,
you are going to have the rookie cap, so you'll be able to build around him.
For sure.
And so hang on. I wanted to get Chad in this conversation. He just joined. So Chad, welcome to the show again, man. I want to ask you your opinion on the Panthers potentially being linked to Deshaun Watson. And by the way, just a disclaimer to everybody in here, everybody listening, whatever, there are no wrong answers. You are allowed to feel however you want to feel about this, man. It's like no one can tell you, that he is or isn't a bad guy. None of us know Deshaun Watson. How about that? None of us know him personally. And, if somebody feels like it's a bridge too far, then they're entitled to feel that way. And by the way, Chad, I'm not putting words in your mouth either. I don't know what you're
good,
about to pass the mic to you. But, just tell us what your initial thoughts are about the Panthers, being so interested in Deshaun and just everything about it. Do you think it puts us over the edge? Is it terrible? Is it too much? What do you feel?
I've got mixed emotions. Of course, I want to get out of this quarterback purgatory that we've been in since 2018, 19, when Cam started to kind of decline, I guess, per se. Trading away 3 1s, maybe a 2 or a couple 2s, and then you can also consider Brian Burns or Jeremy Chin. I've said it all over Twitter, and I'll say it again. I will enter fan free agency, and I don't care. I would be so sick because but then at the same time, when I say that I have mixed feelings about it, it's like, okay, but when like these defensive players that are superstars, you know, in 5, you know, once they hit their 5th-year option, or you know, they're going to walk because they're not going to want to play here anymore. They're going to want to go finally go compete for a championship. So
exactly,
it's like it's almost like, do you want to lose them now, or do you want to lose them in 3-4 years? You know, like that's kind of where I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You know, also I've had, you know, the whole DJ Moore, you know, he's entering his 5th-year option. Could that be a trade piece, or you know, do you try to sign him?
You sign him if you get Deshaun for sure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So like, okay, when you said, you know, it would make you want to enter fan free agency. What is it specifically? Is it the signing of Deshaun himself, or is it just the amount that the Panthers would have to give up in order to make this trade work?
He a Cowboys fan.
It's the idiocracy that is it's Matt. We all know in this we listen, all of us listen to y'all and other Panther podcasts, that Matt Rule is a dumpster fire. I'm not a fan. I had high hopes that he was going to do great things here, but you're talking back-to-back 5-win seasons. We have no draft picks. I mean, shit. The Bears got more back for Khalil Mack than we gave up for Sam Darnold. Like, what are we doing here?
They traded the farm for him though initially.
Right, but those guys never really panned out. For
most players traded don't. It's my
what's
opinion. Most players traded from one team to another don't really pan out like fans or media or even the team thinks they should.
Right.
It's football anyway. Basketball seems to work out.
Yeah.
Well, they are the Rams.
I mean, and then like also, you know, the way the NFL is going, it seems like it's going towards that NBA style super teams all jam packed into one. Yeah. So then you know.
It can't happen in the NFL though, to be honest.
I think that's an anomaly.
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, if you look at especially if you look at the Rams and, you know, kind of a lesser extent the Chargers too, you know, their players are wanting to load up on one team to make a juggernaut that's going to be able to compete for a Super Bowl. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers did this the last 2 years. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, there is some truth to that too.
The Bengals? I mean,
but again, I've said this before too. Is there not a conversation to be had about Deshaun Watson? And Kib even alluded to this. You know, when you have a superstar like Deshaun Watson, and if you have these good offensive players like DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey, don't you think there's something to be said that even if we lose some players in first-round draft picks, that now, if we're able to manage the cap correctly, people are going to want to come and play with Deshaun Watson in these subsequent years, man. Like
no one got
Deshaun and the richest owner.
One thing I will say in there is somebody mentioned him earlier, DJ Moore, and everybody in his chat said we got to re-sign him. If I'm DJ Moore and you don't get Deshaun Watson, I'm not staying here. You got to convince me between now at the end of my 5th-year option, why I should re-sign with you. And now, I ain't seen a reason why I should re-sign with you.
And I would say, Cody, people have to also understand that the area where most picks fall through is the first round. Many first-round picks don't pan out in the NFL.
That's a good point.
It's just
second and third.
Second and third is where the gems are because people overlook them for the hype. People look for the hype, and then they draft, you know, whoever's left is. So again, you can trade away all the first rounds you want, but then again, you also have to look at the statistics. I'm just devil's advocate here.
It depends on who does the drafting for you.
Yeah, I think
Marty Hurney sucked at second and third round picks.
Well, I trust Fit. I think if we have Fit, we're going to be just fine in second, third, later.
Yeah,
I'm curious about something. I know that we brought Cam back, and it was great. You know, for the time being, it was amazing that we were getting Cam back. But isn't Deshaun and Cam close? Do you think that was part of a recruiting mechanism, I guess that's the right term.
You get Deshaun.
To get Deshaun to kind of mend things with Cam.
No, I think
I
it was.
don't.
I think it was a Cam thing. He just.
I don't.
I mean,
Probably.
That was
they
Tepper
were-
saying I fucked up because he paid him
Yeah,
a shit
I
ton of money
agree.
too.
I think it's a mutual just department, you know. or
I see.
But again, like,
if you would draft,
I mean, no, go ahead, Kenny.
if you would draft Wallace, I think Cam would sign with you real quick. Just because Cam is
Willis?
Willis, yeah.
Willis's. Oh, I ain't there, y'all. I'm just not there today.
Yeah,
I
we
believe
got you back.
Willis. Cam is Willis. Cam mentored Willis. It's obvious.
Cam
And I
mentored
believe
Deshaun too, didn't he?
Cam would come here, keep
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, Cam mentored Deshaun Watson, Justin Fields.
Malik Willis.
Yeah,
Sounds
Malik
like a
Willis.
sounds like
Yeah,
a good
man.
leader, don't
Like,
it?
but yeah, man, and Cam Newton, he puts a lot of work into those quarterback camps that he does, those 7-on-7s. I mean, people really benefit from those, man.
But I don't. If you trade for Deshaun Watson, Cam Newton ain't going to sign here to be to be his backup.
No,
No, if we go with Deshaun, we have to send our
not-
love letters to
that's
Cam
not
Newton.
right.
And be like,
Yeah, that's
hey
not
man,
right.
thank you for everything. But it's and again, listen, I've actually been a very I've gone hard on David Tepper on this podcast for many reasons, and I feel like I was right in making a lot of those criticisms. I do have to give him this though. When the man feels like his team is moving in the wrong direction, he is not afraid to be bold and make a big time move. And by the way, I mean, that even extends to Cam Newton last year. You cannot tell me that Matt Rule or Scott Fitterer were like, you know what? Sam Darnold's so bad, this guy that we made such a big bet on. Why don't we just go and get Cam Newton, the guy that we had originally that we could have had? It's like, no, there's no way that Matt
I could see
Rule ever
Fitterer doing
signed off on that. I mean, maybe Fitterer, but at the end of the day, dude, at the end of the day, you cannot tell me that Cam Newton coming back to this football team wasn't a David Tepper decision.
Oh,
Because
100%.
it definitely was, in my opinion. And now you hear this with Deshaun.
I bet you.
Go ahead, Dave.
I bet
Go
you
ahead,
it was a David Tepper decision, but I bet you as soon as David Tepper said it, Scott Fitterer's like, oh yeah, Matt Rule is not going to be for this. I'm going to go for it because I know it's going to be great for the team. I guarantee you that's how it went down.
Yep.
Well, and to kind of piggyback off something you said earlier, and I know you that you said this a few times, Cody, but like free agents don't. I mean, I get what you're saying. Like you have to provide a quarterback and to attract free agents, but free agents anymore don't really care about who's on the team. It's a matter of who's going to pay me the most money. I mean, you got to still be able to offer them. You've got to still be able to offer them compensation. In a significant amount.
That's why
I think of what.
If I may add, I think that depends on the age of the player or the free
But
agent.
okay,
Right.
but hold
Think
on.
of what Deshaun brings to like the team confidence wise. Like, on
But let
2
me
minute
ask you
drills.
this. Let me ask you this to kind of play devil's advocate to what you were saying, Brad. Do we all think that Scott Fitterer has done a good job to this point managing the salary cap?
He doesn't manage. Well, he doesn't manage the salary cap.
He doesn't do it,
Senior
though.
does. Yeah.
I would say by making.
Okay, so let me rephrase it then. The people who are in charge of making decisions for personnel and salary cap decisions, which is Fitterer and Suleiman, do you think that this team that we have as of right now has done a good job at what they do?
Recently, yes.
I would argue.
Yes. Honestly, other than the Sam Darnold 5th-year option, I don't see a problem with what they've done.
That was the dumbest thing that we could have ever done.
Right. And
I would say
Right.
right.
But I guess I mean like to what we're getting at, right? You're talking about players who want to be paid. I think that basically my point was that Fitterer and Suleiman. I mean, look at the restructurings that we did of Taylor Moton. And that was a big time deal. Shaq Thompson, that was a big time deal. So
I think,
but again, I'm one of those idiots who will spend like 2 hours on Sport Track every night, right? And I can tell you right now, those are two people who I would restructure because they're the only. I mean, I'd be restructuring absolutely everybody. Those are no-brainer moves. Those aren't like, I don't. I guess I just don't give them much credit for making decision for converting their salary to signing bonus. I just don't. Right? I mean,
Can't give them credit for doing their job.
Not even that. Like I can congratulate somebody for doing their job, but like not when it's like something, my boss isn't gonna, I work in IT. My boss isn't gonna congratulate me for clearing out a freaking paper jam and a printer. You know what I mean? That's just not gonna happen. So I guess I don't feel like, I feel like they haven't really been in a position where they've had to make really difficult decisions. I think they've done a lot of the obvious.
Well, Hurney and Gettleman couldn't get it right.
I did forget about Ian Thomas too. Like I completely just threw that.
Brad was talking about paying different players too. I've also heard rumors that we might even be trying to stick with Stephon Gilmore. I don't know how true that is. I don't know, man. Our free agency is certainly not done. But I don't want to be a victim to the moment. Like, the Panthers can't do this because doing, such and such thing is going to be such a monumentous event that the Panthers aren't going to be able to overcome it. And it's like, I just don't know how true that is anymore. I just feel like today's modern NFL is such a quarterback-driven league that, you might not be a Super Bowl squad without all the requisite pieces. But I think if you look at the perennial playoff contenders every year, it's because they have that good free agent quarterback too. So I don't know, man. I just think this goes a long way towards doing a lot for Carolina's future, regardless. And then, like someone else mentioned too, like those second and third round picks, I feel okay trusting Scott Fitterer with those for the simple reason of, let's say Brady Christensen. I'll say this and pass the mic. Let's say Brady Christensen and Deontay Brown end up being starting offensive linemen for the Carolina Panthers. Those guys were drafted in the 3rd and 6th round, respectively. So, we already have a guy who potentially can continue to find these value pieces. Now we have to make sure that they see the field enough, which is a Matt Rule issue. I don't know. That's just me kind of doubling down on this fact.
But Cody, I'll argue with you on this.
Yep.
I'll argue with you on the Scott Fitterer. I'll argue with you on the Scott Fitterer idea, okay? Because let's face it, last year was his first year, and I'm not going to buy into somebody who has not proved it yet. He needs to prove it this year. If he can replicate the production that he did last year as far as draft picks and what they could pan out to be, then I'll be happy. So we really won't see how good of a GM he is pick-wise until probably the end of next year. End of next season, not this upcoming one.
What was his role in Seattle?
He was the assistant GM. Primarily, he dealt with scouting college players.
Yeah. Okay, so Richard Sherman, 3rd round pick. Russell Wilson, 3rd round pick.
Ooh, good point.
But who's to say that he was actually the one who picked those?
No, you're right. But I'm just saying he was a part of that regime. I'm just
Fair enough.
I'm just throwing it out there because, like what Cody said about trusting 3rd round picks and 4th round picks. I mean, he was able to. He might not have been like, hey, we need to draft this guy. But I mean, I could definitely ask. I got a buddy up in Seattle who's a diehard Seahawk fan. Shout out to my dude James. But
what most of their stars like 2nd and 3rds?
Yeah, they didn't draft Russell Wilson to be a starter. They drafted him to be a potential. What's the potential of a potential? Like we did Will Greer.
They got
because they actually signed a quarterback to a long-term deal the year that they drafted Russell Wilson.
They actually
Wilson beat him out real bad. So
they actually got lucky with Christensen, I believe. They did not intend him to be on a left tackle. They thought he was going to be a guard.
Well, and they still don't think he's going to be a left tackle.
They still don't know what they're going to do.
And it's funny. Someone said, "So are you saying first round picks don't matter?" Of course, that's not what we're saying. I mean, and I think the sentiment is shared. It's just certain first round picks have more hype than film. That's what I'm saying. It's just like teams are looking for players to fill.
Like look at C.J. Henderson.
Right,
He got traded
exactly.
1 year into it, go ninth or whatever.
And even quarterbacks coming out this year. Go ahead.
I believe drafting a first-round pick. I believe some teams don't actually look close as they should. You take a lot of teams won't even look at a player until they hear the media talk about it. Then all of a sudden they're all in on it.
Exactly.
And that's incompetent GM and incompetent coaching, whatever you want to call it. It's incompetency. Some of the GMs, as much as we give Marty Hurney down the road for, Marty Hurney was the only GM, the only NFL person at Justin Herbert's pro day. And Marty Hurney had eyesight to Marty. He was going to be a Panther, but the Chargers took him one pick before we did. So, and Marty Hurney's always been that way with first round picks. He's always been a hands-on guy. He studies that first round really well. So, but I don't know about Scott Fitterer. So,
well, and like I said, I mean, the reality is, it's not going to come down to like we are going to have to give up some number of day 2 picks. That's just the reality. I mean, for this trade to happen. It comes down to how good is your coaching staff to develop your day 3 picks, right? To at least make them like the Rams can afford to trade away their first round picks and some of their second round picks because the Rams coaching staff has established they're good at turning those third day 3 picks into contributors on defense and offense. We are not that good at that. We are not. And maybe that gets better when we hire a new coach after the 2022 season, assuming that we don't win we don't make the playoffs or win the division. But like, I guess the entire point I've been trying to make this entire time is I don't look at. I feel like the general consensus amongst most Panther fans that want to make this trade happen is that if we trade for Deshaun Watson, we're automatically going to win the division, and that's not the case. I mean, there's no guarantee that that's going to happen. There's no guarantee it's not, but you also have to. It's risk and reward. And it's going to either blow up in our faces or it's going to be a great move.
Let me ask you a question.
But I don't expect us to win a division next year.
If we get Deshaun, I do.
It's not realistic.
Sure.
What I want to see is a confident play from the quarterback position is what I want to see.
Right.
And that's something we haven't had since Cam was healthy in 2017.
Well, but here's my question, though.
I expect to win the division next year.
But here's my question, though. Like, why is it outside of the realm of the possibility that we could win the division with Deshaun Watson? Like, again, like, okay, right now, Tampa Bay doesn't have, they don't have Tom Brady anymore.
I think Blaine Gabbert.
They drafted Kyle Trask last year, or a year or two before, to be a second round pick. They also have Blaine Gabbert or whatever. Like, who is the real odds on? Like, who would you all bet to win the division this year as it is?
The most NFC South thing would happen. Atlanta wins it.
I would say Tampa Bay right now because of Bruce Arians and Leftwich, Byron Leftwich.
Even in spite of their quarterback position?
They still have talent.
Are y'all familiar with JPA football on Twitter?
JPA? It sounds familiar. Wow.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I mean, they tweeted that rival GMs believe the Buccaneers will be a factor in the race of the Deshaun Watson.
I'm sure there's a lot of teams
there's like
that are
15
interested
teams that are going to be
in
And by the way, I've said throughout this whole process that our biggest competitor is going to be Tampa Bay. Because that's another team that
it's going to be Philly. They got so many picks, man.
They also don't have a lot of picks. By the way, this article.
They got 3 this year.
And I heard that Fletcher Cox is available.
Exactly.
And so this article just came out like 20-something minutes ago. This is from Joe Person. He's saying, given the expected interest in Watson and the narrowing quarterback options around the league, the Panthers will have to give up a lot for Watson. Likely a package that includes 3 first-round picks, as well as other picks, and 1 or more ascending players still on team-friendly deals. Think high draft picks like Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin, Derek Brown, and J.C. Horn. The fact that the Panthers have the number 6 pick this year should help their cause, but that's currently their only selection in the first 3 rounds, Any acquiring team must also have room to absorb Watson's salary cap hit of $35 million in 2022. The Panthers are $26.5 million below the cap, but there are multiple ways that they can make the Watson deal work, including possibly reworking his contract. The Panthers tried unsuccessfully to schedule an in-person meeting with Watson before the trade deadline, so expect them to make the same request again. The team has already conducted extensive background work on Watson and his legal situation in the event he was cleared of the criminal charges. Watson's developments are unfolding just before the start of free agency, which officially begins Wednesday, following a 2-day legal tampering window. After being in limbo for nearly a year, Watson did not play for the Texans. League insiders expect him to have a new team by Wednesday. So again, man, it's like the one of the things that we have to just be okay with is that if we're going to get Deshaun Watson, I feel like our younger guys are going to probably be out the door. And if I had to guess as to which ones those players will be, I probably would say J.C. Horn and Brian Burns. And that's painful, man, because I was so excited about the prospects of J.C. Horn here.
I don't think he's going. Honestly,
I don't think
they're going to trade Horn.
I think
to be
Jeremy
quite frank,
Chin more likely, maybe.
I think
Jeremy Chin's definitely in that deal.
Yeah,
because
100%.
Here's the reality, right? Nobody got to see J.C. Horn for more than 3 games last year, right? We don't know. We can sit back here and say he's a shutdown corner.
He's still a top 10 pick, though.
I understand that, but I'm just saying we don't know what he is yet. We don't know if he's a shutdown corner. We don't know if he's a draft bust. We don't know what he is. And the Texans.
So are you saying that you would be more so because there might be, there's more of a case of Jeremy Chin being a high level player? Do you think that, maybe you would rather give up J.C. Horn as opposed to Jeremy Chin?
I personally, I hear it. No, I don't think so. Like, I think that you would still probably want to take the possibility of a shutdown.
Take the Pro Bowler
over. He's not a Pro Bowler.
I'm talking about Brian Burns is a Pro Bowler. It looks good on paper, right? Traded for a Pro Bowler.
That's all they care. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I think, I mean, like I said, I stand by my original statement. I think that he's probably going to be a Panther by the end of Sunday. I really do feel that way. I just think that there's a lot of things that we have to kind of make peace with. Like, we're going to give up a lot of our defense. We're going to give up cornerstones. That's going to happen. There's a real possibility.
Our defense gave up a lot too. So
sure.
Yeah.
He's also probably going to face at least a 4 to 6 game suspension next year.
Yeah.
For what?
And so Kevin just sent this to me. This is from MaxBet USA. These are the odds to who will next land the Panthers. The Bucks are at plus 300. Then the Steelers. They have the Saints and the Vikings ahead of us, which is kind of crazy to me. And then, dude, how about this? Deshaun has the same odds to be a Texan next year as he does a Panther. I don't know about that,
I don't
man.
think those odds are very accurate.
And then they have the Seahawks at plus 1,200. I mean, they also still have the Dolphins and the Raiders and the Lions.
It's Vegas, man. That shit don't mean nothing.
Yeah, I know, but it is interesting to.
I wonder what Calvin really bet on.
Yeah, right.
We need to put some asses in our seats, though, because Major League Soccer blew that attendance away. I haven't seen us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that loaded.
Give him a couple.
Is that in the
exactly, Kenneth?
Give him a couple years. Let me read this real quick.
Let them suck for a year and see what happens.
I was going to read that real quick.
I'm just speaking in general for Carolina, though.
This was posted yesterday by 4Man Rush. And he said, John McClain on the Texan Sports Nation podcast said that Nick Caserio wanted 3 first picks and 2 second-round picks for Watson last year, but would settle for 3 first, a 3rd, and a 5th now. So their prices suddenly went down a little bit, which which would be helpful to people
but
who want him.
That's
A
just
trade
hearsay,
with
right? Like,
Carolina.
they're not
helps
coming
us
out and saying what they want.
Willis.
Right. This is a
Well, what
baseline.
they
We're not
want, they
trying.
may not get.
But that's the thing is we already have established Carolina is going to give up whatever they want, whatever it takes. That's
Everything.
Well, that's because we got a jackass for owner.
Take it
that
all,
is true.
baby.
I
But
mean, in
that's-
this
but that's-
situation, I mean, I'm not complaining about that. Like, I mean, I would do whatever it takes to get this on, but that's just my opinion.
So let me ask y'all something. I've heard people say this. If the Texans said, "Okay, but we want 3 first-round picks, we want your entire draft board this year. We want Derek Brown.
Oh, that's
Brian
already
Burns.
too much.
We want Horn and Chin.
They
why
can't,
you
but
at
they can't afford
Okay.
everybody, bro.
At this point,
That's the joint this way because I want whatever you're smoking.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a cap,
to me
man.
personally, there's not a player in the NFL, and I say with no exceptions, that are worth as much as they're one.
well, but that's the
Now,
thing, though.
there was
Right?
a trade. The Lord of
Here we
Trade
go.
traded.
Oh,
They're
shit.
not asking us to give up our entire draft this year. Like
Yeah,
my
exactly.
thing is this: all these
Well, it
first
ain't
round
far from
picks, like guys. But also look at it this way: we've had a top 5 or a top 10 pick the past 3 years in a row. What do we have to show for it? I can make the argument that so many of our better players have actually come in the later rounds. So it's like, man, these first round picks, dude, none of them are guaranteed to equal the kind of quarterback and the kind of player that you're wanting anyway, man.
Right.
So to me, it's just, we might as well try the opposite thing of what we've been doing. It's like doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity.
Well,
Okay,
and
let
to
me
be fair,
ask Brad something.
Player drafted in the first round since Luke Kuechly.
Say that one more time, Drew. Say that one more time, Drew.
Player that we've drafted in the first round since Luke Kuechly.
Say that one more time. I keep on catching not the beginning part.
I said we haven't had a transcendent player that we've drafted in the first round since Luke Kuechly.
Well, I mean, Christian McCaffrey's he's transcendent, but he's hurt, though.
so hold on, hold up.
He's a transcendent player.
Dude, when he tells it, he was
The
transcendent,
word
bro.
transcendent. The word transcendent is based on what the person thinks.
He was a
Right.
he was
Well,
a double All Pro that year.
I
And
mean,
if your bar
two
for
positions.
hold up, if your bar for a first round pick is a transcendent player, you're aiming way too high.
Exactly.
I'm just
you've got-
saying, look what we've had in the first round, and look at our record since then.
So for
Right.
example, our last three
the best player we've
picks,
drafted.
right? J.C. Horn, Derek Brown.
Okay, what has J.C. Horn done besides 3 games? We think
I understand. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying, would you trade J.C. Horn, Derek Brown,
No
who was
way.
before him? Forgot.
I don't
Brian.
know.
Brian
Brian
Burns.
Oh yeah, Brian Burns.
It's
Would
not
you
going to
trade them
cost
three?
all 3.
I
It's
would
not
almost
gonna cost all
rather
3.
trade
Would
Brian
you trade
Burns
them
than
3
Derek
for
Brown.
Deshaun Watson right now, straight up?
It's not going to cost all 3.
It might.
No, I'm saying just with no picks, just them 3.
That ain't gonna happen.
Oh, and no,
I'd consider it.
No, I'm
I'd do
saying,
it.
but what I'm
Oh,
saying
no,
is
no.
like
So-
3
if you're
picks.
saying
That's
if you're
3
saying no
picks.
picks and just those 3, done. See ya.
Yeah.
I would
So-
if they said yeah.
But
Like
the
that.
point I'm trying to make
Mm.
is these first round picks are not the last 3 first round picks are not anything close to Deshaun Watson is what I'm getting at.
Well, and let's be real
Not
here.
yet.
Like, if you look at the number 6 overall pick this year, right? Is the player we're going to get there being more impactful to this team?
I mean, we're
than Deshaun
literally
Watson?
trying to trade back.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, right. If we get the number 1 overall pick in 2023, is that player honestly going to be more impactful to our roster than Deshaun Watson?
No.
Probably
I
not.
mean, young.
If we get the number 1 overall pick in 2024, is that player more than likely going to be more impactful to our roster than Deshaun Watson?
No.
Probably
Know
not.
that. Maybe.
So that's the reality. Like, I don't.
Right.
I kind of. The reality is there probably is not a price that is too much for a franchise quarterback, but it still doesn't mean that, like, the point I've been trying to get across is that just because you have a franchise quarterback, it doesn't guarantee you shit.
No,
and that's all I'm trying to get across. And that if we make this trade, you have to be willing to deal with the fact that you might be giving up a top 10 pick in every single one of those drafts.
And
But
we're not
at
even
least
sure
he's
he wants
on
to even
your
come here.
team.
You know,
That's the thing.
Let's-
At
let's-
least he's on your team, and you have other stuff to work with.
Darius
ask you
Butler
this.
says he's going to be a Panther.
What's the guarantee? What's the
who
guarantee?
says it?
Darius Butler.
I saw that.
There's been conversations during this show that we will basically suck next year and the year after that, maybe the year after that.
But you don't know that though, man.
You're right, but there's people on this podcast, on this show, has been saying we will. Now, that's
Oh no question.
Okay,
Yeah.
the question I'm asking: what prohibits 2 years from now, Deshaun Watson coming out and saying, "I want off this team because it's a pathetic team"?
Because
Well, hold on. Let me
get 3 first-round picks and some players.
But hold on. We'll answer that in a second.
That's a good
and I mean,
investment.
if he decided to lift his trade clause, to me that's an indicator he wouldn't do that. But hold on, I wanted to add my man Twan Dunn to the conversation. Twan,
now it's a party.
What up, fellas?
What up, man?
Now
Hey,
it's
man,
a-
jump in on
going-
this Deshaun Watson conversation, man.
I'm
Tell us
going
what
on
you
my
think,
I'm
bro.
going on my tour right now with the delusion of what Carolina Panthers are willing to do for one man, bro.
Amen. I agree.
How's it
It's
delusional, man?
the things that people are saying to get Deshaun Watson are getting absolutely ridiculous.
Like
I'm
what?
going to tell you
Like
one
what?
thing. You can never trade so much stuff off your team that you allow another team to build a team that can forever beat you.
What,
Five
what,
wins,
what
bro.
you talking? But hold on. But,
Five
So
wins.
no, but what
when
are
you got
talking
when
about
Carolina fans are saying give them whatever they want, then what does that leave with us?
Not
What if
necessarily.
New Orleans gave up their entire draft for Ricky Williams, and
How did that work
How
out?
did
And
that
Mike
work out
Victor
for
got fired the next year.
Washington get shit back out of all
But
his
Ricky
Twan, let
Williams,
me
bro.
ask you this, and again, man, like some people in the chat, this is not me saying that these players are not fantastic players. But Twan, my question to you is, which one of these players that we're talking about is irreplaceable?
We got one Pro Bowler, bro.
One of the, and by the way, hold on, by the way,
Made the Pro Bowl.
our one Pro Bowler, a lot of us didn't even think that he should have
I'm not-
made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I'm
Many
not
of
even
us
talking about
thought Hassan Reddick should have been.
No,
the
we
Pro
had
Bowl.
2 Pro Bowlers on the team. They just one didn't make it. We actually had that's the ugly side of letting fans vote. You know what I'm
How
saying?
many All Pros do we have, or second All Pros?
So the thing is,
Special
the thing is that it's not just the players it's the picks and the players that we will lose, man. It's just like, what will we have left?
Those
players
picks,
are replacement.
thing is,
Well, let
those
me
picks
ask you a
are
question.
not guaranteed to
It's
be.
just too much of a big of a price that they want
Twan, who
for
do
us.
you want us to
Look,
draft
man,
this year?
we're not a winner. We're not a quarterback away from winning, even if we had Deshaun Watson.
We are with that division.
Exactly with that
Yeah,
division.
Right,
so
but I'm
our
winning
division,
Super Bowls,
our
not
division
division.
is down. Our division is down so bad right now. There's no more Drew Brees. There's no more Tom Brady. I'm sorry, I just do not consider the Atlanta Falcons
But
to be a
you know why those
legitimate
guys were
contender
so
until
great?
I see
Because they
something
had
from them.
teammates. Those guys were so great because they had teammates.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
but it's not like we're not gonna. Okay,
Tom
hold on.
Brady
If
got
the-
people
if
to
the-
come along with him.
So look,
Are players
all
going to
the
follow
Tom
Deshaun
was a
Watson?
free agent, though, man.
all the reports
Deshaun's
are
not a
that
free agent.
the Houston Texans would want young players, right? And this mainly means the young defensive players that we've drafted in this past couple of years. Then that essentially means that you're keeping DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Christian McCaffrey and pairing them with a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I just do not see how y'all are saying that the Carolina Panthers could not be competitive. I just don't
because they won't be
understand.
able to stop. They won't be able to stop a sneeze. That's the problem.
The
We
tide
already
changed.
can't.
Let me tell you when the tide changed. The tide changed when Denver gave Seattle all they gave them for Russell Wilson. And
Yeah,
now the Texans are looking at that deal, and the price tag just went up.
It was gonna be more anyway, because Deshaun's like 26 years
No,
old.
yeah,
And the thing is this though, y'all. What makes y'all think Deshaun Watson wants to come play for the Panthers?
so
But of course, we're
It's
smart
about
saying
3 of the
hypothetically.
better
I already-
teams to play with out there.
Hey,
I
one at a
already-
time, y'all. All right, keep on.
So just to kind of throw this out there,
What are we offering him?
we could offer him more money. We could offer him a lot more money, to be honest. Like,
So now we're
I'm
out.
talking about as far
I'm
as a
just
team.
saying.
As far as a team.
nothing. But here's just to comment on a couple of
He
comments.
already
in the
said he don't
record.
want to go to a depleted team. He already said that.
Right.
Buccaneers are
But
Anywhere
most-
he goes,
depleted.
He doesn't
Yeah.
three
deplete
first round
team
picks and
that
players.
But the problem is that anybody who makes this trade is going to be a depleted team, and
Exactly.
at some point he's got to know that. And
Unless
kinda,
you're Philly, you have 3 first round picks this year.
Not
Yeah,
Philly.
all of
Philly got 3 picks.
and to elaborate
Yeah,
on a
but
couple of the
Philly
comments.
Philly's got a decent defense, but their defense is not.
Yeah, but Philly can give up
Dude.
3 picks this year and be done with it. You know what I mean?
So,
Well, they
so-
could, but that's what the point is.
Yeah, let's let Brad finish his thought. Go ahead, Brad.
So one thing that's been kind of rolling through is a bunch of people saying that Deshaun Watson is not going to get suspended. He won't get suspended as long as none of those cases, because he still has 22 civil cases. He still has those. He's not going to get suspended as long as none of those are resolved. If he settles any of those, if he basically does any
He's not
sort of
settling, bro. That's obvious.
Big Ben still, he was willing to settle for Miami. Big Ben settled his cases, and he's still got a 4-game suspension. So if he settles those cases, if he
Actually,
admits-
correction. Ben actually got a 6-game suspension.
right. So I'm just saying, like a suspension is still a very real possibility for him.
Was he convicted?
Yeah.
They can
No,
they
he-
can
no,
give
no,
him a
that's-
year if they wanted to.
That's the thing. There was no evidence that they could actually bring forth to convict Ben Roethlisberger, and they still punished him. So that's why people are saying that's the precedent, that they probably are going to at this point in time.
He did
it's probably
suspend him
gonna
last
be-
year, so I don't see
Yeah,
why he
they're
wouldn't.
probably
Because he didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play. But now, if he has the opportunity
could
to
have, though.
play, but then it's also like, again, I know
The
no
league
one wants
said
to
he could
hear
play.
this, but at that point in time,
Yeah,
Sam
but he said he
Darnold
wouldn't
becomes
go.
the most expensive backup in the NFL. Like,
For 1 year.
Yeah, and again, it's only 6 games.
Shout out
you
Sam
know.
Darnold.
I don't know, man. Like, I know it's tough, but this is what I asked to any one of you. And by the way, Caleb, I was able to bring you back on the show. What is going to be if the Panthers don't do this? Name to me a scenario in which the Panthers could actually be better next year without Deshaun Watson than with him. How are you
Exactly,
doing?
Cody.
How are you
Darnold.
building a more competitive Panthers team without Deshaun? Go ahead.
You're building for the future. You're not building for
Ori Kwanu, but I mean a quarterback. I mean the guy from Ritter. I know but he's got something. I don't. He's not a top target, but I do like Ritter a lot. And I
Maybe
know
not 6'6". If you trade back, a little bit, you might be able to pick up
See, we're talking about like we want to trade back every year anyway, so I don't understand why we want to give up. Don't mind giving up first round picks. You know what I mean?
But also remember, hold on now.
Want to trade back. Most of the time, the teams don't want to trade back. That's all fan based and media based. Trade back is more hyped on fans and media than it is on.
That's a fact, Josh.
Events.
Right, but also then you're talking about Matt Rule on the hot seat with a rookie quarterback. Like, are we going to be more competitive with a rookie quarterback next year than we are a player like Deshaun Watson?
Oh no!
And
yeah,
then
we'll
it's like, if we don't have a good year next year, then yeah, Matt Rule is for sure gone.
Cody.
And they're kind of doing this all over again. Anyway. Go ahead, J Subs.
We're gonna get Deshaun Watson. All of a sudden, Matt Rule's gonna be a good coach. Watch.
Hey man, but dude, listen, I am not trying to come to the defense of Matt Rule. You guys know I think he's a bumblefuck. The dude's a moron, okay? But my thing is this, dude. A good ass quarterback will change it for you, man. I mean, look at the fucking Bengals, dude. This literally happened 2 years ago. So I mean, I don't know, man. I really do think
what is that?
I don't know, man. This is yeah, dude. Hey, whoever's
and Cody,
hey, by the way,
let's be honest.
Yeah, go
let's
ahead.
be honest. We're going to trade our picks for a quarterback anyway. You know what I mean? It might as well be Deshaun. We're going to be in purgatory trading picks.
Like I said,
year.
Garoppolo or Watson. That's your choice.
I refuse to believe Garoppolo's in this conversation.
It's going to be
Hey,
Garoppolo.
by the
I
way,
don't-
You know what? You know what? David Tepper deserves to be. No, I can't say that. I probably get in trouble legally. So let's just say David Tepper deserves to lose his entire team and all his money. Jimmy Garoppolo brings you absolutely nothing.
I agree.
Nothing.
But what about if we're talking about Jalopolo as
I would sign Mitch Trubisky to a $20 million deal before
I would much rather have
before I give a 7th pick 20 years from now. You know what? I wouldn't even give them a long snapper for Jimmy.
Hey, dude, how about this? I would rather an enema filled with hot lava before any of those assholes.
Oh, damn.
I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo gives you nothing.
Man.
He can't throw the ball. He can't stay healthy. And there is absolutely zero guarantee he's going to be healthy any time this year.
I think
He's going to Indianapolis anyway, so it's not that big of a
I hope
deal.
so. I hope he does.
Hey, let me ask you.
In all seriousness,
go ahead, Cody.
In all seriousness, how often does a potentially top 5 quarterback
never?
Like, let's be honest.
Apparently this year we might be 2.
That's what I'm saying. Like, other than this year, how often does that happen?
It does not happen.
It doesn't happen. Like, so I just don't. I don't
Quarterbacks control more now than they used to. The organization was always in charge, and the quarterbacks just did what they were told into their contract.
It is becoming a much more player-driven league. Like we saw, the Texans wouldn't be trading Deshaun Watson if he was wasn't insisting, "I'm never going to take another snap for you." Right?
Yeah, and 10 years ago, every owner wouldn't even offer anything for Watson because of what he did to the Texans. Lots changed over the years.
Bullshit.
No, that's not true. Jerry Richardson would have.
Jerry Richardson never made trades.
Dude, if you're talented in this league, you'll get many chances, bro. Let's not pretend.
But you know what's fun? You know what's hypocritical and also funny at the same time? Jerry Richardson would have never approved of a trade like this. For those exact reasons that he wouldn't want somebody with Deshaun, all his assault cases going on.
Yep.
Yeah, look at what Jerry Richardson was doing the whole time. I find that.
But Jerry Richardson.
We'll go Brad first, and then Kenneth. Go ahead, Brad.
Well, and David Tepper's whole statement when he bought the team, there will be no more NDAs in our building, right? I mean, let's be real here. Like, it's not a good look when you're basically going for a guy who's probably he's going to have to settle those cases. I mean, I think that's more than likely what's going to be the scenario. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as of this moment, there's no non-disclosure agreements. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
Never say never.
Exactly.
Well, the burden of proof in a civil case is a lot less is a lot lower than that in a criminal case.
True.
So that's just the reality.
It is.
Well, I think that's kind of what people were expecting too. That if he did end up facing charges, it'd probably be some misdemeanor charges. I think the Panthers knew that too. I think that's what they expected. I think that's what the private investigator came back and told David Tepper. I don't know, man. It's I really just it sucks that the one quarterback that could generally put us over the edge has all this other shit connected to him, and the fact that we would have to pay so much, it's like it sucks. But just to kind of give you guys an example here, look how long some of these other teams have been without franchise quarterbacks. I mean, look at teams like the Buffalo Bills before they had Josh Allen, the Bengals before they had Joe Burrow. Exactly. Hey, look at the Cleveland Browns, who probably still don't have. Yeah, they still don't have the answer at quarterback. So it's like
they were happy with
what might be expensive right now. I'm telling you, 10 years down the road, when you have a quarterback that has made you a legitimate perennial playoff contender, all of a sudden that's not so expensive anymore.
And
I
like,
mean,
when's the last time a blockbuster trade for a quarterback's happened? Like, I'm actually asking. I'm not.
So that's a
a
good
couple
question.
days ago.
A
couple days ago.
Yeah,
It's just
literally
funny.
probably
I
a
meant
couple days
before
ago.
this season. Like,
It's
when's the
funny
last
because
time? Like, it happened?
Last year with the Rams.
Cody, it's just
Right.
funny that it's just funny that all of a sudden this Deshaun news, everybody's like, "Fuck them mock drafts, bro." You know what I'm saying? Like Deshaun Watson.
By the way, I'm still totally down to do a mock draft here.
So next year, next week,
Yeah,
next week when Deshaun Watson goes to the Eagles or somewhere else, everybody, Panther Nation, gonna be in there crying and boo-hooing, and this life sucks. I hate this team. We can't.
No, we'll be numb to it because we're used to
Which is extremely likely, by the way.
Not getting
Yeah.
quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean.
Hey, Cody, you know what we should do? You know what we should do tonight for this mock draft?
March
Okay,
on men.
we should agree who we would trade to get Deshaun, and then act like we don't have those players or picks for this draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
that's a good point too.
And
but
then we can actually kind of see what we're going to be looking like.
That's a good idea.
Let's do it.
So again, the only thing though
The system
is
will
that
automatically mock for you.
well, no, we already have that 6th pick, and if we're trading, we're gonna have to trade that 6th pick
Well, we'll just
away.
trade that.
Yeah, but then again, it's like if you trade it,
Yep.
you're still just trading back into that round with the pick that you don't have. What I could do is bring up some of my trade scenarios from last night, because all of my scenarios from last night, if they are or are not plausible, I don't know. But I had it, but we were able to keep all of our picks this year. Because
Well,
I gave up,
that's not gonna
yeah,
happen.
I gave up a 2023, 2024, and 2025 3rd-round pick, which
They
apparently
want that pick
can't
this year
do
for
that.
sure.
Yeah, they're.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
think it
But
helps us out in the long run. Honestly, I don't think we'd have to give as much if we gave him this year's pick.
yeah, maybe so.
Do you don't think that with the amount of stuff that we could potentially offer, you know, like with when Seattle traded Russ, they got, what did they get back? A 4th?
When Seattle traded, they got back first
I
round
think they
picks.
swapped seconds.
Yeah, well, they got, I know they got 1st-round picks out of it.
Do you think
so
that
they're picking 9 now?
Do you think that Fitterer should ask for some draft compensation back for the amount of shit that we could give Houston, like a 3rd or 4th?
Oh,
or the
yeah.
3rd
I
or
think
4th.
we could
Yeah,
swap
yeah.
picks in some rounds.
I mean,
just
Houston
to
can
up
get
over.
Malik Willis too if they trade with us. They can
And
get
by
that
the way,
too.
even like second and 3rd-round picks, like they have 2 2nd-round picks and 2 3rd-round picks. So like, even if they wanted to give us something to make us whole in the meantime, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just there's so many conflicting reports.
They ain't getting us
Apparently
shit
they're
except for Deshaun Watson.
I think
Yeah,
the
I mean,
only
I would-
thing Deshaun for going to Seattle would be the whole division thing. But if it wasn't for that, dude, I've got my eyes set on Seattle because I mean DK. I mean I know that Tyler Lockett, but if there's so much shit that can go on, and it's starting to drive me nuts with all the scenarios going on in my head. But
Why would they get rid of
the
Russell Wilson if they wanted to trade for
Because he
Deshaun
wanted to go.
I
get
wanted to go.
that.
Then the
Because
reason
he's
why
like
he
40
wanted to
years
go is
younger?
because he's tired of getting beat. Why would Deshaun? And I have a question. Why would Deshaun go to Seattle since their
Exactly.
offensive line is pathetic?
After
There's
seeing
reasons
Russ
why
not
Russell
wanting
wanted
to
out of
be
there.
years, why would Deshaun Watson want to go there after seeing Russ not wanting to be there?
And I mean, and the rest of the Seattle defense isn't that good anyway.
No,
Got rid
it's
of
not.
Bobby Wagner too.
Russell
And
Wilson.
that is a good point that I wanted to make sure to bring up again too. Whatever team ends up trading for Deshaun, they're in the same boat as us. They're going to have to take some of their really good players. So, for example, let's say Seattle trades, they trade for Deshaun. The Texans might say, okay, you're going to send us a DK Metcalf. He's coming right over to us. They're going to take whatever player, Justin Reeves, whoever's over there, Jamal Adams, whatever. Each one of those teams is going to have to lose good players. So none of these scenarios are like none of these teams are going to be an ideal scenario for Deshaun Watson. Like he's going to have to settle for a team that is still going to have to build around him even after they trade for him.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the Panthers are in this scenario where we're just like head and shoulders behind everyone else just because we can't trade.
do have
for
the
him.
easiest.
The only team, if I could add, the only team that I don't think would struggle as mightily trading for Watson would be the Eagles, just because now they would still have issues. Don't misunderstand that, but they do have 3 picks this year. Like I said, that they could say, "We'll give you 2 picks this year and 1 next year."
And
they still have a first round
And they
pick.
could trade
And-
Jalen Hurts as well.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee that. I mean, the Texans have been wanting defensive players. Now that could change depending on the person that they're offered. That honestly could, but nonetheless, there was a big defensive tackle that the Eagles are swapping now. So
I don't know if they'd want him. He's really old.
You know,
Mr. Cox is 31 years old on a big contract.
well, I'm not saying they. I'm just saying they have more picks available to do that than others than a lot of folks have. So I'm just saying that would be the easiest. I would think so, because they do have a good offensive line. They have a decent defensive line now. So, they even got now. If the Texans wanted to, they could take Jalen Hurts and Dillard. To be honest, that would be 2 players that are really good.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not like proven characters. Like even guys like Jeremy Chin, like Jeremy Chin and Brian Burns, you can look at their film and say, "Oh, okay, these guys are big time players."
Right.
Like Jeremy Chin led our team in tackles. Brian Burns went to the Pro Bowl. So it's like they want players that are going to make them a contender right away. And I think that's something else that gets lost in this. The Texans like Davis Mills, the guy they drafted out of Stanford. They think that he's a good quarterback too. So any team that trades for Deshaun, they're probably going to want to add some more weapons for him. So you're taking away from someone that Deshaun would have at his disposal.
Yeah, and if you're Deshaun, if you're Deshaun Watson, why were you going to go to a team that's offensive line's really bad if they ain't got the cap or the available to fix the offensive line before the season comes? So I mean, you got that's why I don't include Seattle in this at all. Seattle's got, to my opinion, Seattle's almost got a worse offensive line we got.
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't say it is, but I'd say almost.
They're
good now. Now they cut their best player.
Well, Russell Wilson made that line look a lot better than what it actually was.
I mean,
recently.
They didn't even trade him. They didn't even call him up and tell him they was cutting him. He heard that online.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that sucks for Wagner, man. Dude, I don't know why teams do that. Like a player that's been busting their ass for your team for years, and you can't give them a proper send-off. Kind of like how the Panthers did to Cam originally, if we're being honest.
Him and Russell came in on the same day. You left on the same day.
Steve Smith.
Yep. So do y'all want to do this mock draft? And do y'all want to y'all want to do y'all want to just do a normal mock draft, or do y'all want to do what Nick said? I think Nick dropped out of here. Do y'all want to y'all want me to pull up one of these scenarios that I did last night?
I like what Nick. I really like Nick's idea because I like the whole, putting everything into perspective of what we're really looking at. I really liked his idea.
You want to do one of each and see.
Cody, let me ask you something. Our 6th pick, we have to trade it in this mock draft. Could we trade it for next year's picks so we still don't get the pick this year?
What, the 6th round?
Yeah. Hypothetically, just for this trade scenario.
6th round
or so. Had to do so we can't draft with it.
I guess so. All right. So which scenario? So I can go through these. Yeah. So before we go, Drew, I know you gotta leave us, man. I appreciate you being with us. You wanna tell the fans anything before you get out of here?
Hey, just another great show tonight, guys. Hopefully, we'll hear something about this thing one way or the other by the end of the weekend, so we can just move on. Either he'll be in Carolina or he's going somewhere else, and we can figure out what the next step is. But as I said, always a great show. Great to talk to you guys. Keep pounding, and I'll check you guys out next week.
Peace and love, Drew. Hey, hopefully the next time I talk to you, man,
See you
we
later,
can be
Drew.
talking about our new quarterback.
Absolutely.
So, let's hope. Fingers crossed. We're going to manifest it, bro. All right, man. Have a good afternoon. All right. So, okay, these were some of my scenarios that I put forth last night. Again, I can't do the mock draft and not have us pick sixth, which is ideally that's probably what would happen. We wouldn't have our first round pick, second, or third this year if we traded for Deshaun. I tried to put forth some scenarios where we kept our picks this year. So again, whether or not these are not possible, we can kind of go forward with these in mind and draft around what we've gotten rid of. So, which one do you guys want to do? I've got so this is my first scenario. This was all defense. They got sent Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin, and CJ Henderson, and 3 first-round picks, and that would have kept it this year. And they're all the same trade, just different 3 players. This one is Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, and Shaq Thompson.
The problem I had with this one was they just restructure Shaq's contract, so it'd be a lot more for next year.
They did. That is true. But I'm just thinking like defensive starters for them. And again, these are all just some hypotheticals, right? CMC, Robbie Anderson, Shaq Thompson. This probably was my favorite because it was a little bit of the best of both. It was Robbie Anderson, Shaq Thompson, and Jeremy Chin. So you're able to get some of the money off your books, but at the same time, you're still kind of losing a little bit of both. And then the fourth and final one I did was Robbie Anderson, CJ Henderson, and Brian Burns. I never put Derek Brown or JC Horn in any of these scenarios, just because
this one right here might be one of my favorite ones.
Probably the best.
To me, it's between this one and it's trade scenario 3 and trade scenario 4.
I personally like 4 because we just restructured Shaq's contract and it costs us a lot more money next year in the long.
I just hate to see Brian Burns walk, man, because that dude is.
You're gonna have to have Brian Burns.
And this edge class is super deep too. Not that we have.
It really is, man. Carl Loftus out of Purdue. You have Trayvon Walker. Trayvon Walker from Georgia.
Let me ask this: this is all hypothetical.
Yep.
If this particular scenario of Robbie Anderson, CJ Henderson, and Brian Burns, a 2023, a 24, and a 25 first round, we keep our 6 overall. Who do we go with when we have Deshaun Watson at quarterback? Who's our 6 overall pick?
Well, we couldn't.
Well, that's what we're getting ready to do. We're gonna do a mock draft, and we're gonna go through it. So let's real quick. Out of everyone that we've gotten here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 people. I'll be the tiebreaker if I need to. Let's just go through them real quick. Who votes? Who's in favor of trade scenario 1?
I'd take that.
No one?
No.
Oh, wait a minute. No.
Hell no.
Right.
No.
So you're casting your vote for it. Who votes for 1? No one?
Hold on. I have a question. Is the 2025 pick just going to turn into the number 6 overall pick, basically?
Well, no. So all of these trades have us keeping our 6th overall pick.
Oh, so we're still going to go with that? Okay.
So
all of our draft picks this year would be the same.
Okay.
Again, it's probably not feasible in real life, but for the purpose of doing a mock draft that is centered around how the Panthers would build their team with Deshaun and without the players that they've lost.
And technically, they could make it feasible. The Texans and the Panthers agree to it. Watson understands it, but they don't make it official until draft day.
Yeah,
that's true. True,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's a good point.
that's boy, that
That
would
is a
sure
good
drag
point.
things out.
Yeah,
a lot longer.
now the
Yeah, us Panther fans, that would
the
be
league might not like it, none at all.
I might lose all my hair if that happened.
Yep. All right, so no one votes for trade scenario 1. Does anyone vote for trade scenario 2?
No.
No. Okay, so we're down to 3 and 4. All in favor of trade scenario 3, which is Robbie Anderson, Shaq Thompson, and Jeremy Chin. Who votes for this one?
4.
Okay, Chad votes. Who votes for number 3?
I think we all agree.
Okay, so everybody's down for number 4.
It's only. I think it's only because of the whole Shaq Thompson restructure.
I think so too.
And in reality, I don't think the Texans will like this trade scenario, but that's their problem, not ours. So,
I mean, you never know.
They might. I mean, you don't know. And I only say that for C.J. Henderson.
It's a pass rusher.
You know,
it's a Pro Bowl pass rusher. It's a promising young corner.
Former number 9.
And it's a receiver.
1,000-yard receiver.
Right.
Yeah, 1,000-yard receiver.
If-
That's not a bad mock.
If I'm the Texans, though, I'm going to tell you to replace C.J. Henderson with Jeremy Chin, and you got a deal.
The thing
But that's
is, though,
me.
this
That's
might
just
be
me.
the best one offer they get. You mean we don't know what other teams are
Well,
going to offer?
everything's possible.
That's
So could be. You're right.
All right. So, do we all agree this is what we want to do?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do it. I'm gonna fire up the mock draft machine.
So what I want to talk about, okay, well, I'll wait till we get to the draft, because if we get Deshaun, then more than likely we're not going to be able to re-sign Dante Jackson or Gilmore.
That's fine.
So that leaves J.C. Horn basically by himself at corners. I just want to bring that
We
out.
can get someone later in your draft.
The NFLPA just released the club's adjusted salary cap as of the start of the 2022 league year. I don't go ahead. I don't understand what they mean by.
Let me get this going. Boom, boom. 7 rounds. Boom.
See, and like I knew like stuff like this was going to be tweeted about about like Deshaun getting off. Is the most sexual assaults will not have enough evidence to bring forth charges.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they didn't happen. It just sure as hell doesn't mean the survivors are lying.
There'll probably be. I still believe there's going to be some protest at teams at the team he goes to, but that's just going to happen. So,
damn.
Yeah. All right. So this is our. This is what we got to keep in mind. So we're trying to replace Robbie Anderson, CJ Henderson, and Brian Burns. So now receiver, it could potentially be a little more important for us now that we're losing him. Corner and edge rusher are something that we're going to have to think of more heavily now. All right, so we are going to. I'm going to take this off the screen. And I'm about to start.
I'm gonna go sit on the couch for this shit.
I want to ask you about a wide receiver as soon as I find his name.
Well, we're gonna have to trade. We're trading back, right? Like, are we all in agreement to do that?
While you're bringing that up, I just wanted to ask you this: Traylon Burks, a wide receiver from Arkansas, and Malik Willis are the only 2 players at the combine that all 32 teams met with and talked with. Mm-hmm. Only 2 players. Those 2 players. That Michaela Burks, I don't know a lot about him. I was curious about him.
I really like him.
Yeah, he definitely shows a.
Is he a first round guy or?
I think he's late first round after the combine. He kind of
I just thought didn't. I hadn't heard about him, and I thought, well, who's this cat? Because I didn't really hear a lot of people talk about him. But all 32 teams looked at him. He had to be somewhere useful. I mean,
yeah.
All right, so let's just jump into this. Everybody can see. So what we'll do is if we get any offers, we'll evaluate them as we go. Let's start. Evan Neal, Aiden Hutchinson, Quandra's gone, Thibodeau's gone. All right, so we didn't receive any trade offers. So now that doesn't mean that we can't still trade down. We can inquire to another team if we wanted to. But Kyle Hamilton is on the board. Derek Stingley Jr. is on the board. Charles Cross, Trayvon Walker. By the way, this is updated. If you notice, Trayvon Walker, they put him in the top 10 now. He wasn't in the top 10 before. His combine really helped him. He had really good film out of Georgia. That would be a player that I think if you're losing Brian Burns, and you're losing Hassan Reddick too. Trayvon Walker low key might be the pick.
I think we can trade
also back. We can do that. I'm just wanting to present all the options that we could take right now and know that we've upgraded the Panthers in some way, shape, or form, right? The three players right now who I think are most in consideration for us are Derek Stingley Jr., Charles Cross, and Trayvon Walker.
I'll say
I'd say Walker. I would want Walker.
I think edge right now is our most important.
Our offensive line.
He's 6'5" and 270. He fits our offense really well.
I'm just going to say this about Derek Stingley, since I am an LSU fan. The only good tape that he has was that national championship year, which is his freshman year. Other than that, he's been an average, maybe a little bit above average. Yeah, dude. And then he got hurt, and he doesn't have good tape. The only good tape that he really
his
has.
freshman year was insane, though.
Who would be interested in trying to trade back?
I will.
Okay, so wait.
Also, though, did we not lose Shaq Thompson in this?
DJ Henderson. Who else we have?
I'll pull it back up.
Okay, so we didn't lose Jeremy Chin because I was going to say Kyle Hamilton.
Okay, right. We lost Henderson.
Okay.
Robbie
Anderson, CJ Henderson, and Brian Burns.
Okay. I would still go with Walker then. Okay.
Kyle Hamilton's not a bad option here either.
But you can't deny the talent at corner though. I know people don't like it, but you cannot deny the talent at corner.
We need to fill some roster spots.
So
we also need second and third round picks.
Cheaply too.
Stingley, Ahmad Gardner, and my man Andrew Booth from Clemson. I'm telling you, man. Everybody says I'm just a Clemson homer.
You are.
Andrew Booth is a real dog, man.
Also, you got to think Linderbaum's out there. So, do you want to get a stud center for your stud quarterback?
Jordan Davis might fall a little bit.
So, okay, if y'all wanted to trade back, how far are we looking to trade?
Try the Eagles.
What's that?
I want to
try 9.
Yeah, try staying in the top 10 for a little bit.
Try 9.
All right,
because I could see Seattle trying to trade up for Malik Willis or a quarterback.
Same.
Am I just stupid? Like, where are the?
And now they have some draft capital
to
trade up with.
Yep, true.
There you go, Cody.
That was weird. I didn't even notice that.
It's all good, man.
All right. So we would want
their first.
Probably only can get the first and
second. I'd like to have one of their seconds. Worst we can
we can trade back again if we.
I think we can get more with.
I'd try one of their seconds.
Ooh.
Would you be willing to lose? Hold on, let me see what tried this 5th. Maybe add in.
No.
Go to next year. Go to 2022.
No,
don't do that.
Check out the Ravens.
Y'all think we can make it work with Seattle? So if we gave them 6, what more could we give them?
We can give the Ravens just 1 and get more back.
I wouldn't go in the next year. I just for the sake of this.
Yeah. Even for a 2022 7th round pick,
I would go with the Ravens.
Let me see something.
Try to make it like a little realistic-ish.
So we're giving them 6. We're giving them our 5th round pick. It would be a 7th next year.
Yeah, maybe that is. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're like, if we add more, it's not gonna work.
I'd say yeah, I would do that.
So these two, boom, just like that. You want to try that?
Yeah, we get there. We stay in the top 10. We get a second
We
round.
already have a 5th round, so yeah.
And we might get another offer to trade back. So let's try and do this. Come on, money. Yeah, all right. Good trade. Good trade. All right, now
they'll probably take.
Do I want to go back one more and pick up a 5th round?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how many 5th rounds do we got? Because didn't we have 2? We traded.
Well, we traded one, so we'll get one back this way and just drop down
we just traded one.
Yeah,
so
let's do that.
Yeah.
I'd
All right,
take
you want
this
to go
in a
back
heartbeat.
one? All right, boom. All right, Philip. So we have a few of them now. One we can also go back one more, pick up a 7th. Philadelphia.
I like that one.
Philadelphia wants us to go back to 15 for. We also get a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick.
We don't have a 3rd right now.
Can we see who's there?
And we already have a 2nd.
Dude, this is like not letting me scroll down. Dude, it like does not scroll down. All right, whatever. 13. This is the Cardinals. They want us to go to pick 23.
Let's see who's available.
I'll take the Eagles.
You guys.
Or see who's available.
You want a counter offer? So
we'll see what
they want 10. They're gonna give us 1, 3, a 1, a 3, and a 5 this year.
I'll take that.
Would y'all be willing to accept this offer? Y'all want to go to 15?
Yeah, I accept that.
Linderbaum, most likely.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. Let's see who's on the board.
Sauce is still there.
Yeah, Sauce is Gardner.
Malik is still there. Oh no, that we got Deshaun. So
yeah, we have Deshaun.
Trevor Penning is still there. We still need to update our offensive
I
line.
don't really like Trevor Penning. I guess for this early, I really don't.
So do y'all want to try and make this happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So we're going back to 15. All right, good stuff. See, this is the reason I wanted to do this, man. It's like if you're able to trade back, so they want us to go to 28 and 20. No, we're declining both of them, right?
yeah, decline both.
Yep. It's time to pick. All right, Trevor Penning is on the board.
Jordan
Malik
Davis
Willis is on the
there.
board. Garrett
Jordan
Wilson,
Davis.
Jordan Davis.
I think
Tyler
Linderbaum.
Linderbaum.
Yeah, I think Linderbaum's a pick.
I think Linderbaum's a pick.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Can I make a plea for George Karlaftis?
No,
George
I
Karlaftis,
think the
especially
edge class
considering.
is deep enough that we can
Yeah.
go Linderbaum now and take edge later since we just acquired.
Yeah.
So we got rid of Brian Burns, Robbie Anderson, C.J. Henderson.
We got to protect our new franchise quarterback.
Right, and I
don't know. Let's go. I say edge. I hate to say this, man, because I've been pounding the table for O-line. As much as I'd like Linderbaum, we've lost way too much on our defense at that point. We need to go with
we didn't
defense.
really lose
first
that much.
again.
Better edge later. We still have Yetur Gross Matos, which I know.
Dude, we just lost. Hold on.
Yeah,
a
I
second.
think
we just
The O line's deep.
Yeah.
The offensive
Go
line.
ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
Dude, we just lost Hassan Reddick, Stephon Gilmore, Brian Burns, Jeremy
Possibly
Chin.
Dante.
Like that. Those
We
are
got Jeremy
our
Chin still, right?
We didn't
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, we lost. So in this mock, we lost C.J. Henderson, Robbie Anderson, and Brian Burns. Now there is something to what Nick
okay.
is saying. No, but there is something to what Nick is saying though. We've lost Brian Burns,
I would
and
go with the edge rusher.
we lost
Henderson.
Fuck, I'm just, yeah, no,
Hassan Reddick.
yeah, Hassan Reddick. That's like all of our pass rush.
Right.
But we
Out
didn't
the
really have
door
a pass rush
in
last
the
year.
in the case of one offseason.
I mean,
On top
think
of
as
that-
it currently is now, who's going to be your starting defensive ends?
Try
it's
Frankie
going to
Gross
be
Matos.
Morgan
Yeah.
Fox.
Jatur Gross. It's
Morgan
going to
Fox
be
and
Jatur Gross
Frankie
Matos,
Louisville will play edge a little bit.
Jordan Fox. Yeah,
We
I
can
mean,
draft
it's-
somebody in the second round.
I mean, what about Jordan Davis?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think your pick's either Linderbaum or Jordan Davis, unless you.
I
trade
mean,
back.
essentially, you're drafting another person who is almost identical to
I'd
Derek
rather not
Brown.
go Davis. He's going to be a great inside defensive line for tackle for
Remember,
somebody.
we don't have any.
No, but y'all remember that
offensive
03
line.
squad with
Imagine him.
freaking Chris
Imagine
Jenkins
Jordan
and Brenton
Davis.
Buckner? That team was stacked on the line.
We don't have
Yeah,
backup
but they were stacked, but they had
offensive line.
experience playing football.
Jordan
But Buckner
Davis
did.
and the 1 tech and have
Jordan
Derek
Davis
Brown
is
and 3 tech 1-on-1 versus a guard. I mean, we just don't get those
Hey, it's Phil
opportunities.
Hicks.
Yeah, but then again, though, our edges are so
Yeah, I
barren.
agree.
So, all right, if
Well,
I'm
offensive line is
having to,
barren.
my pick is it's going to be in the trenches. It's either going to be Trevor Penning, and by the way, that Trevor Penning's such a big badass. I don't even mind putting him at guard if you feel like Brady Christensen's going to be your left tackle. But if we have the flexibility to do that either way, either Christensen at guard or Trevor Penning at guard, or vice versa. Or George Karlaftis from Purdue. I think this guy is also a very agile, big, fast defensive end who shows a lot of promise that would help us out right now too. So
Cody,
I'll leave this between y'all, man.
When
Yeah,
is
Chad,
our
what's up?
second pick? What's our second pick?
Yeah, it's
Our second pick.
Yeah, our second round pick.
Let
When
me
is it
just
at?
let me just.
Hey, while he's doing that, I know that I'm only.
I don't
saying
think we
this-
have a second round.
Yeah, we
we
just
do.
said
Yeah, we traded for him. We have we're
Oh,
pick
did we?
41 in the
we
second
could
round.
probably get a guard at 41 if you were to
Yeah.
go defensive line.
And again, it's not like our offensive line's going to be terrible for having Christensen and maybe Deontay Brown playing full time.
Right. So y'all down for George Karlaftis?
I
say
want
down
Trevor
for him.
Penning.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, also Tyler Linderbaum is still on the
I
board.
still
I'm
think
big on
Linderbaum's
Linderbaum.
big. I still think Linderbaum's a
Yeah,
big.
but does he fit our scheme?
No.
No.
can make
He's
See,
not-
so because he
it's not
doesn't fit our,
what you said, no, but whether that
because
changes with
but that's
Deshaun
the thing,
Watson.
man. If Linderbaum doesn't
but-
fit our scheme the way that we have it now, we shouldn't do it.
No.
If we get
But
Deshaun
I will
Watson,
say
there's
this,
a good
though.
chance that our scheme changes if we get Deshaun
Yeah,
Watson.
I will say this though. I have no problem with Tyler Linderbaum running what the Panthers are going to want to do. I mean, he is a damn good center. I also really like Cam Jurgens out of Rutgers later on in the draft as well, who also tested really well. Let me see where he's even ranked. So yeah, he's down all in like 157. They have a bunch of people ahead of him. But yeah, those are my three the players that I would consider the most are Trevor Penning, Tyler Linderbaum, or George Karlaftis.
Hey, just to let y'all know, I know that it's in our division, but the Falcons just restructured Matt Ryan's contract just for y'all.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That
I've read
happened
that
just
one.
now?
Too. I know about that.
Yeah, just staying in the division, but figured y'all should know.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so who y'all want to take here? Y'all want to take Linderbaum, Penning, or Karlaftis?
Penning. Penning or Karlaftis?
Hey, Panthers rule, you can join right now, bro. The link to join is in the description box. And we still, we got room. We got room here.
Give
Come
me
on.
that edge. Give me the edge.
Who's be around at 41?
All right, let's vote. All in favor of Edge. Kenneth, what say you? How you vote? It's Trevor Penning, Linderbaum,
I'm gonna go with Karlaftis.
one for Karlaftis. Nick, what say you? You say Edge, right? Nick says Karlaftis.
Yes.
Cody, how about you?
Linderbaum.
All right, we got one for Linderbaum. Kevin, how say you?
Linderbaum.
Oh, all right. Chad, how say you?
Karlaftis.
Chad's the tiebreaker. George Karlaftis, it is with the Panthers' 15th pick in the draft. I'm telling you, that's not a bad pick.
No,
man.
it was close. I could see it happening.
So we don't want to move up, right? We just want to tell everyone to fuck off.
Just get the hell out.
We want to keep moving down.
Yeah, true facts. True facts. Fuck off.
I want to answer that. Like,
hello, nah, fuck off.
And be like, get the fuck off here.
Pretty much.
I still can't get over that bubble fuck.
Yeah, that was funny. That was very funny.
Green is still on the board.
Oh,
no, he gone.
All right, here we go.
Damn. See.
All right, so we have a trade. We can get the 54th pick, the 85th pick, 125th, and 209. We would have to give up this 41 and our third round pick of 83. But by the way, we're giving up 83, but we're picking up 85.
Who's on the board?
So it's only 2 spots.
Yeah, he's on the board.
On the board right now is Johan Dotson, Matt Corral, Christian Harris is another good option too.
I'm saying do it. Make the trade.
We might need a trade.
Make that trade.
I would say do it.
Probably.
Man, that big old 385-pound offensive tackles is on the board, Cody.
Yeah, he'd be good to pick up maybe the third or fourth.
Yeah, Falele, yeah.
He got destroyed at the senior bowl.
All right, so we're moving to 54. No, we're not moving up. All right.
Just say how.
59 and that's really for nothing. They want us to go to 59 and give us an extra 5. The Bengals want us to go back to 63. Yeah, I somehow don't think they would do that one.
No.
I'm gonna make you
so what, y'all want to just decline both of them?
Yeah.
Let's see
what was the Bengals one again?
The Bengals, they want us to go to pick 63, and they're giving us a 6th round.
Nah.
But if we're gonna do it, the Packers have a
one.
way better deal.
Who's on
but
the
do we even
board?
want to do that?
Let me see who's on the board first. Because if no one's there, then yeah, I would do it.
Travis Jones.
There's your favorite position, Kevin.
Yeah, fuck off. I say do it and get Memphis.
Is there a long snapper on the board?
Get Dylan.
They don't even have long snappers on here.
Cody, I would do it and get the guard out of Memphis.
Honestly, those safeties aren't looking.
Wait. Damone Clark, linebacker. We kept Shaq Thompson. Never mind.
Yeah.
Those safeties.
So we gave up CJ
wait a minute now.
Henderson.
We still need a linebacker, y'all.
Yeah, no, that's
we don't have
definitely
Carter.
true.
We still need a linebacker.
Oh, but hold on, Kenneth. Kenneth, our boy is still available at pick 83, man.
There's a lot of good linebackers.
Yeah, that's me.
lot.
That's me right there.
I love me.
Right
Hey, dude, I am
now.
in the camp of Troy Anderson, dude. That guy is a beast. I would love to have him on our team. So, right now, the safeties are an option.
I wouldn't go safety right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily either. By the way, receiver George Pickens is on.
Sky
the board.
Moore is really good too.
I would take that trade with Green Bay, honestly.
Yeah.
We declined it, I think.
Oh, I think you hit it, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Or did I? Oh yeah, I didn't.
You
So
probably
do
get
y'all
more.
want to? Y'all want to move back some more?
Yeah, you could probably
it's
get more.
still a
I
possibility,
get a
man.
4th and instead of a 5th.
Yeah.
So we would give them 54. We're gonna go back to 59. So we're moving back right here, and we're picking up another 5th round. You want to do that?
Yeah, you probably get a 4th
You
instead
probably
of
get a 4th instead of a 5th too.
Oh, okay, so you want
Look at the offer. Yeah.
No, they're not willing to.
Dang.
Ah, all right. Yeah, just take the 5th.
Bunch of cheeseheads.
See if
I
they'll
know,
squeeze
right?
the 7th in there with it for free.
They might. No.
No.
Damn.
Damn.
Green Bay.
All right. We're really
Fault.
we're really doing our Scott Fitterer
We're
thing
really
here.
desperate right now.
I think we're doing a good job. so far,
Aaron Wilson's reporting the Pittsburgh Steelers have not and are not expected to be players in Deshaun Watson trade market, according to multiple league sources.
That's good news.
I believe it. Yeah, that's good news for us, man.
I don't think Steelers.
No. Yeah, we don't want to do this, right? We're gonna stay put.
Yeah.
All right, decline.
Yeah.
Damn, the board's still pretty much the same.
I say Dylan out of Memphis.
Where? Who?
Right there. What's his name? Permit.
Parham.
Yeah, he never gave up the sack. I think.
Dylan Parham.
Yeah.
So.
Or Kenyard. Kenyard's still on the board.
Kenyard, I like Kenyard pretty well.
Where's our next
guy
pick?
from Kentucky?
Our next pick is.
You go to my picks. Okay.
It doesn't show you what picks you're gonna have though. This is the only
You
way
go
to
to my
85.
85. Okay.
Yeah, my picks just shows you who you've already selected.
Okay.
So we're at 59. We have 85. We have 106, 125. I said let's just not overthink it, man. Let's just take a player
Let's
here.
just take a player.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering how like.
No, you're fine.
I say Perriman or Kenyard.
Dude, I'm not mad at George Pickens either, dude.
You got to fix the offense line.
Okay, but
I agree with offense.
Hold on. So
that's why I think we should have went with
Ty Smith, man.
So, interior defense, IO line. So, yeah, Dylan Parham is available.
Travis Jones wouldn't be a bad option either. Honestly, I really like him.
What position does Travis Jones play again?
Defensive tackle.
The only thing with Pickett is he doesn't provide much in the terms of run blocking. And if we're going to be in power,
who did you mean to say? You said Pickett.
George Pickens.
Oh, the receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it can.
I've seen him. It's not.
I wouldn't draft a receiver right now.
Yeah,
I'm also not taking a receiver just because of their blocking ability.
Right, I agree with that.
You know it's something that they might be able to do.
I say Kenyard.
I like Kenyard.
2-time SEC Offensive Lineman of the Year.
Yeah, I agree. He's
going up against Alabama,
he's down the board,
Georgia.
Still,
he's pretty flexible too.
So would y'all prefer to go to Darian Kennard over over Dylan Parham?
Line, right? So
yeah, now over Dylan Parham, is that's what y'all want to do?
Yeah, I think. Kenyard.
I think Kennard's more versatile, so yeah, I think we'd have.
I agree.
Who's going to start? Who?
I like that. All in favor of Darian Kennard? Everybody's in agreement? Let's do it. Darian Kennard, you are a Carolina Panther. All right, now our next pick should be coming up here soon.
He might be still on the board, the guard.
Then yeah,
he is still on the board. Dylan
we
Parham.
can look at tackle too.
He might still be there. Oh no, you gone.
All right, so the
in the
Panthers
third
are coming
round.
up. And we're not moving up.
No.
Clark is on the board.
Brian Asamoah is still on the board too.
He's still there.
Dude, Brian Asamoah.
Wow.
Hey Cody, let's draft our linebacker.
Yeah,
Clark is
Brian
right
Asamoah.
So okay, where's our hold on, let me just see where our next pick is. So we're at 85 right now, 106. Okay.
20
so
some picks.
Looks like all our picks are like back to back almost.
Kinda. So Damone.
I say Clark or Tyndale.
Troy Anderson.
I say Brian Asamoah, but
Brian Asamoah. He's a tough linebacker. I'm telling you, man. Y'all need to look up this Troy Anderson dude.
Oh, is that the one that ran the super fast 40?
Yeah, so he was the fastest linebacker at the combine.
Yeah, maybe that's who I was thinking of.
Dude, 6'4", 230.
Yeah.
So by the way, at the combine, he weighed 243 pounds. He ran a 4.41.
Really?
The dude has incredibly long arms. He used to play quarterback.
Yes.
For Montana State. And the dude had like a ton of touchdowns rushing. Yep. This guy is a hit-seeking missile.
You want a
I think. I mean, again, it's hard to make this comparison because of who Luke was, but he is a more physically gifted prospect than even Luke was.
If you look him up, he'll remind you of Luke.
I'm gonna look him up.
He's a bad.
Because where he played quarterback, he knew a lot of his tackles were in the backfield.
Yeah, we need a true Mike linebacker anyway. That's something we've lacked since Luke's retired.
I believe this guy.
He's a weak side linebacker.
Oh, Troy Anderson is.
That's what it says.
Well, now,
that's what we need. I mean, we're not really trying to get another out. Like we have Frankie Louvu, and Louvu is gonna be outside. Shaq is also an outside. Do we need that true Mike linebacker?
Exactly. He's played outside linebacker. He's played outside linebacker, but he's played inside, and he's just as good inside as he is outside.
And by the way, how about this? He's kind of like a poor man's Micah Parsons. Like you're gonna kind of be able to put him a little bit of everywhere, and have him, be able to give you some production. So, but that's just me, yo. Don't let me sway you, man.
I'm over sway you.
No, I think linebackers a need 100%.
Yeah, I like Troy Anderson. Does anyone if you look, it's all have you noticed it's all linebackers and tight ends right here?
Mm-hmm. Okay, but with Troy Anderson, I'm looking at this. He's got a lot of versatility. He's got defensive stats, scoring, rushing, receiving, passing, and function.
Let alone his upside with his frame and 4.42 speed.
Watch tape on him. If you just Google him, you'll find a lot of highlights, and there's not one you're going to be disappointed in.
Yeah, I think
I didn't know who he was until I saw his combine, and I thought, "Who is this cat?"
Yeah, that's
and I looked it up, and the more I looked, the more I liked it. And I sent it to Cody. I said, "Look at this."
He does remind me a lot of Luke.
So y'all want to do that? Y'all want to take Troy Anderson?
Y'all want to do it?
Losing speed on our defense. I mean, that would help.
Rashad from PNP also made a draft profile on him, so too.
He did. That's who I was.
Yeah, I started. I mean, sometimes some film is hard to come by,
right?
For some of these dudes too. So you're really just at the mercy of whatever YouTube will be able to show you. All right, but let's take Troy Anderson, linebacker. Montana State, and dude, I think that we are going to freaking love that pick, dude. I really do.
I think
in real life, he'll be in the third or fourth, maybe fifth round, and I believe we can get him and be a diamond.
Yeah, dude, that I would love if we picked up Troy Anderson.
Yeah.
To hell with you.
Is Lindstrom on the board still?
I'll look.
Yeah, he is.
Yes, Lindstrom is still on the board.
I say we get him.
So do y'all want Alex Lindstrom is still on the board? We have
Majay Sanders is there.
Wait, hang on. Who owned it? So we traded away. Corner and receiver is something that we haven't addressed yet.
Right.
We addressed receiver last year, though. I think.
Yeah, but let's be honest. We're going off hope. We ain't going off on necessarily guarantees.
Well, I mean, the draft is nothing but hope, really.
I mean,
I don't know, like Wandale Rob.
I like Marshall. I like when I saw
combine was terrible, Cody.
Yeah, he's combine.
He still needs backup offensive lineman.
He was listed at 5'8" at the combine. They have 5'11" on every other thing. But
wow, man!
We still need backup offensive
his
linemen.
Broad jump and vertical is like really bad, like insanely terrible.
Oh shit! Okay.
And his 40 time was not near as fast as what like everybody projected it to be.
Or Josh Jobe.
That might have just been a bad day.
Let's from Josh Jobe.
Yeah. So what players? I mean, I think Lindstrom could be in play here. This guy's kind of undersized, right?
The thing with Lindstrom's an outside zone scheme, like heavily outside zone. But like we said earlier, our scheme might change a lot once we get Deshaun Watson.
What about Josh Jobe? Of Alabama.
Josh Jobe, cornerback, 6 foot, 189, kind of light, 189, 6 foot. Hey, no, that would be a good pick, Kevin. He's a boundary corner, press man coverage, cover one. I mean, that is
beating up corners.
Yeah, that is the kind of corner that Carolina would.
I mean, we still have
would
Troy
want to be interested.
Too.
Yeah, I mean,
how
much space do we put in
the only bad thing is it says here is that he's an aggressive approach as a tackler, and it has caused missed tackles. But
I think Lindstrom or Josh
he's exactly who.
Yeah,
the guy
I'm okay with Lindstrom. I like that actually.
Because we don't have any backups on the offense line. Either.
No, we really.
I don't want Michael Jordan on this team again.
All right, so who would prefer? All right, who would prefer to go?
Oh my god!
So it appears we're down to Job and Lindstrom. Who wants to go with Job?
I think
like anyone. All right, so it looks like Lindstrom is the pick. Unless anyone has anything else they want to say. Well, it'd be hard to overrule the pick anyway. So Alec Lindstrom is the player. So far, we have a defensive end, we got an interior offensive line, we got a linebacker, we got two
we need to look at interior defensive line.
Yeah, Alex, that center is a bad pick, yo. He said now this is what it says here. It said
no.
He doesn't offer much in the terms of versatility, and he's likely a center only in a zone blocking run scheme.
Hey, y'all want to move back 3 picks?
I might.
Pick up another fifth?
Sure, why not?
Who's on the board?
I got my linebacker.
You also got to understand there's critics and analysts out there that look. I think they just blow whatever they want and put out whatever they want just to get.
It's probably the folks on this site probably suck real good.
Yeah,
I'll trade back.
I mean, there's really no one like, you want to do that? You want?
But we got linebackers already.
I'll take that trade.
Yeah, take the trade.
Boom, boom. All right, we're moving back a little bit. What the hell, dude?
Oh, come on. Who did you give us? Asshole.
Yeah, tackle.
It gave us Max Mitchell, offensive tackle.
I'm not against that just because it's later round, but still, that sucks.
We do need backups.
Dude, they need to fix that shit, man.
We can cut camera.
Who the hell's Max
get rid of
Mitchell?
them somehow.
I'm on that same website. I'll look. I can see it better on my computer.
I was about to say the Baylor receiver was still on the board.
Oh yeah, there's a good chance that we're gonna get him.
All right, so let's see if it'll even let us pick. So we have 2 picks back to back, so we might be able to make up for it right here.
Hey, it stopped.
Well,
I say I don't even want to do any. I just want to decline everything.
Yeah,
just so that way
that's fine. This Max Mitchell might be a replacement for Cam Irving. How's that?
Well,
we need
like
backups.
Christians in there. So.
All right, so let me see. Here.
Did we take a corner? Because Kobe wouldn't be that terrible.
Yo, Kobe Bryant's still there?
Yeah,
dude,
that'd be a good.
Seriously, this dude, I've been looking at him like he was overshadowed by Sauce Gardner, but this guy is a really, really good corner. This guy is my vote. And remember, I had us sending away CJ Henderson too.
Yeah,
so you'd be able to add him with JC Horn. I would love that.
I'll take it.
All right, is that who y'all want?
Yeah, we can do it. We get another pick.
All right.
Boom,
I love that.
Yeah, let's do that. And then I said the next pick we take Ridgeway.
Take Ridgeway?
Mm-hmm.
John Ridgeway?
I fully believe Derek Brown needs to play a 3-tech instead of like a nose guard role.
Okay, so this guy, this dude.
Yeah, I believe that Davion Nixon is gonna explode this year.
That's a good point.
really
I
do
think
believe
Davion Nixon is going to be a really good interior pass.
We need backups though.
Yeah.
And by the way, I know we've already drafted a bunch of interior offensive linemen
last year.
You can't have enough interior offensive linemen.
Jurgens is good.
No,
Jurgens is good.
Ridgeway's a defensive lineman.
But I know, but Jurgens, this guy was one of the most this dude. I think ran a 4.8 40.
Is that the beef jerky guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Beef jerky or something. He sold.
Yeah, this dude is a beast. I really like this
According
guy.
to this website, he's 290.
I'll take him.
This website's not
That's how
accurate.
bad our offensive line is. We have no backups. So if somebody goes down, I mean.
Yeah, I think that's a good depth piece. I really do.
So, all right, Jurgens over John Ridgeway. I just have to be. I know more about Jurgens than I do Ridgeway, and I think our defense. I think our defensive interior is actually okay with Derek Brown, Davion Nixon, and Bravion Roy. I believe is still on the team.
Same board still on that board, Wisconsin. Jack Sanborn.
Yeah.
From
Wisconsin.
oh yeah, the linebacker. So Cam Jurgens, John Ridgway. Who said something about his safety? Dan Belton.
I would go with Cross from who was it? Can't remember what college.
So he's a big nickel. He's also kind of similar to Jeremy Chin.
Yeah.
Who we didn't send away is still on the team under our current scenario. So Jurgens.
I think the Jurgens guy.
I think Kenny Robinson's going to start opposite Jeremy.
I like Kenny Robinson.
I think he's going to start. They pretty much pegged him as a starter in the last year.
We can't have enough offensive linemen on this team.
I agree.
All right, Cam Jurgens it is. And we still got some more picks coming. Dude, who knows if we would even be able to afford this draft class? You have to have enough money to sign all these dudes.
We'll have to trade Robbie Anderson to afford this. We already traded Robbie Anderson.
We'll find somebody to trade Sam Darnold.
Yeah, we traded Robbie.
We'll trade Christian McCaffrey.
Let's see.
I don't know if we. All right, so now
Thayer Munford's not a bad option.
Who? Thayer Munford.
We need a power run back, y'all.
No, we don't.
So, Kevin, is this the round that you start to entertain linebackers? I mean, running backs. Running backs.
I think running back. I think power running back's definitely an option.
I say we still need.
Let's see who's on the board.
You know, the Bills have a power running back that they've actually floated around the trade that I really like. I wouldn't care to swap him out with McCaffrey.
Line, safety. I take a safety and a defensive lineman before I take a running back.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, let's do that.
You would say that one more time?
Safety or a defensive lineman.
Yeah, all right. But when McCaffrey gets hurt, don't cry next year because you ain't got a running back.
I will not.
You will.
Yeah,
anybody to play running back.
And by the way, hey, how about your boy, man, South Carolina Gamecock, Zaquandre White? You don't even want that?
I'm sure it'd be great, but no.
All right, so
he probably trashed. Hey,
Justin Ross falling this far. That's crazy.
Yep. So by the way, we have a pick literally right after this, so we don't have to think too. Oh, Justin Ross is still available. Oh,
there's a guy out of Cody, Purdue, who's a running back. He's like 6'3", 240 pounds. Get him in the 7th round.
From Purdue.
Draft Justin Ross.
Yeah.
Get Ross.
Well, let's pick up a defense and then offense.
Yeah.
So we'll either go safety or D line right here.
Wisconsin,
Matt Hensington. He's kind of undersized, but he's a 3-4 defensive end. He's a 4 and 5 tech. So again, this guy will fit into what Phil Snow likes to do. He likes to put the big defensive tackles at 4 and 5 tech.
That guy played 4 different offensive positions last year on Tennessee. On the offensive line. Cade Mays right there on 180.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember.
I've been high on him all year, and nobody else like him.
He played 4 different positions. I read.
We ain't never drafted.
So what would y'all rather? Would y'all rather go offense or defense here? Our last one was offense. We went Cam Jurgens, and then we took Kobe Bryant. Before that,
yeah,
I would say
after this, so.
Is Reed Blankenship.
We drafted 4 offensive linemen, y'all.
We're good on the offensive line.
We have other positions. I like Cade Mays a lot, but we have other positions.
Yeah.
We've also got we good off.
Let's draft the defensive lineman.
I think that was Wisconsin defensive lineman.
So Matt Hensington or
Yeah,
and then we're going to be able to pick literally right after.
He could be like the short.
Time? Can he line up on the outside if we need him to? Let me look. Just for the hell of it.
I mean, we took edge first round, so.
All right, Matt Hensing, whatever. We just drafted him on the board again.
I think Justin Ross. I still think we should get a receiver because isn't Zylstra a free agent?
We haven't drafted a receiver yet. And by the way, so look, I'm a Clemson fan, right? He was a freshman the same year as Trevor Lawrence. He's dealt with a bunch of injuries since then, but this guy was going to be a first-round draft pick once upon a time.
Yeah, I remember
just the scenarios have kind of made him fall. But dude, if you look at what he was able to do against Alabama in the national championship game in 2018, Justin Ross is a big-time player.
Yeah.
So, that's my endorsement. And by the way, he's also 6'3", 205 pounds. That could be our very own version of like a Mike Williams or a T. Higgins. You know what I mean?
I go Ross and Mays.
Justin Ross, baby. By the way, how about that would be the first drafted Clemson player?
How many did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Damn.
All right, 3 more picks.
If Ross is still on the board, take him.
No, we did. We already took Ross.
No, Cross. The safety
Cross.
out of Maryland.
Okay.
Is he good?
Oh, yeah.
We can't be too good.
Dude, it fucking auto-drafted again, man. It took Bailey Zapp.
It took him. Hey, it took him the other day. The other week, didn't it, Cody?
I know.
No, we took a Notre Dame
It took
guy.
him. That's twice we took him.
Dude, I really don't even know if it's gonna stop for me now. You better stop.
Man, stop this.
Dude, I'm just declining them.
Who's on the board? He might still be there.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I don't know.
Cross is not that I can see no longer on the board.
Because if Deshaun gets suspended or anything, I mean, Bailey Zapp is a backup.
Yeah, I mean, and we have Sam Darnold too, so it's like,
Yeah, that still sucks. It does that.
yeah. Chad, I appreciate you joining us, brother. If you need to get out of here, you can do your thing, man.
Yeah,
you have
man.
anything you want to say before you head out?
Try not to stress about this too much, guys, because whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. So
true facts. True.
But
facts.
I appreciate everything, man. Thank you for having me on as long as you did. It's always fun talking to you, man. And I'll pop in again pretty soon.
Always,
And
brother.
the rest of you guys, it's always great hanging out with y'all.
Peace, man.
Definitely, man. Peace and love, Chad. All right. Let's finish this up. We only have 2 more picks to make, and then we are done. So
I'll tell you what, if I could reach across the internet and slap somebody,
Gunter.
I would
Jeffrey
slap-
Gunter, Coastal.
I would
Didn't he
slap
like destroy
Jason
Zach
over the
Wilson?
cap today.
Didn't he
you
destroy?
would have slapped who, Kenny?
Jason from over the cap. He brought this trade concept. He said, would you do this trade if you are the Panthers? Sam Darnold and our 6th pick for Kirk Cousins and the 77th pick.
That's not good. So
Yeah.
what about Marquise
Joshua.
Bell? I think he's the best one right now.
Yeah, Marcus.
Wait, is that
Bell,
Tyquan Thornton? That's the one that ran the 4.46 or 4.26, right?
No, I think that was the corner.
No, it was a receiver.
Yeah, as the Baylor.
But wasn't there a receiver and a corner that went really, really fast?
Yeah,
from Baylor?
no, the corner was from some small school, UT something. I can't
No,
remember.
there's a Baylor corner and a Baylor receiver that ran sub 4.3.
So we didn't get a chance to draft our safety.
I was there when I was there live.
I mean, yeah.
So Amari Carter from and this guy can do everything. Cover 3, 2-eye split safeties, Tampa
I'd be cool with
2.
that.
Yeah.
Isaiah Palomau.
He's big.
6'4". Damn, he's a big dude. 6'4", 205. And then the highest rated on this board, Marquise Bell, 6'2", 205. He's a versatile safety that can thrive in the box and on the roof.
What about Jeffrey?
I would be okay with Bell or Amari Carter at this pick.
I think Amari Carter.
It's whatever. I don't really. Yeah, that's fine.
Amari Carter, 6'2". Carter?
I'll go with Carter.
Boom, boom. Let's do it.
All right, Cody.
I think that's our last pick, right?
No, we got.
I think we have one more.
That's where you draft running back.
All right, fine. Let's see what running backs we have available.
Look at that Purdue guy. He's like a really big power back.
Okay.
If he'll stop.
Yeah, right. They definitely need to fix that, man. That's enough to ruin your draft.
Yeah, I've been on some other mock draft things that does the same thing.
Is it gonna stop? Is it gonna stop? It did. All right. Running back.
Let's see if he's
is this a guy? Xander Horvath?
Yeah.
6'3", 220 pounds. Short yardage running back. Yeah, but my thing is, hang on.
Ely's good too.
I mean, that's what you want, like a short yardage guy.
Oh yeah, Jerry and Ely's there too, man.
Yeah,
dude. Is he really 5'8"?
That's short.
I thought he's higher than that.
He's short, but I remember once upon a time he was a five-star running back. So yeah, let's just finish this up and then we'll be done for the day, man.
Do you want a power back or you just want to?
Oh, dude, Devontae Price, Devontae Price. This dude is a little bit of everything. This guy has burst, power.
We're gonna
and
need
is big
rotation.
I would vote for Devontae Price.
Yep, I agree.
All right, boom, boom. Damn, we drafted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players.
I mean, you see, even if you acquire Deshaun, you can get players, if you just draft smart.
And we still didn't get enough offensive linemen. We got 4 of them.
All right, so our picks are George Karlaftis, Darian Kennard, Troy Anderson, Alex Lindstrom, Max Mitchell, Kobe Bryant, Cam Jurgens, Justin Ross, Bailey Zapp, and dude, it doesn't even let me fucking scroll down. Amari Carter and Devontae Price, man. I mean, that's a damn good draft. I don't know if we would be able to pay for all of it, but dude.
Just no free agents.
Yep, I don't.
Yeah.
All right.
I doubt.
No, man, but
I would doubt we don't have the room on the roster for all of them.
Well, you can make cuts and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then they'll be picked up by other teams.
Yeah, and then they'll make
put them on the what do you call it?
They will.
Practice squad.
Yeah,
man. So that's a pretty damn good.
Get on the practice squad.
Yep. Well, guys, that does it, man. This has been a whole nother 3+ hour podcast. At one point in time, we had 150 people watching, man. So, gentlemen, we did it. Another one is in the books, man. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. Cody, I hope you continue to come hang out with us more, man. It's definitely been fun. Happy to have you a part of the panel, man.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yep. You have a very strong first name. So,
yeah, it's all right.
I did that.
It kind of sucks, I think.
No, dude, you have to learn to love. When I was growing up, I hated it, but
really,
I'm like, yeah.
Then
I got over it. But now I feel like everyone's named Cody nowadays, so I'm like,
yeah, on the Panthers screen, then yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, all right, that has been another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All. I have been your host, Cody Lashney. Does anybody have anything to say before we jump out of here, man?
I do have one thing. I just hope everybody understands that quarterbacks like Deshaun don't roll around ever. I just want people to understand that.
Yeah, man.
That's just what I want people to understand.
True facts.
Everybody fall in love just to be.
Do you have anything to say before we jump off here, Kevin?
No.
Nothing.
Nah.
You don't even have a shot to take at Clemson or whatever.
I mean, what can I say that's already hasn't been said?
I mean, yeah, and you can't say anything because South Carolina does nothing but lose to Clemson. So
you're wanting to draft our running
back.
What
can you say?
Ooh.
Yeah, you're wanting us to get Deshaun Watson.
Oh,
shit.
Yep.
Yeah, is that yep?
Yep.
Kenneth, Panther Pickle. Hope your finger gets better, man.
Yeah.
I hate that happened to you, bro.
I'll know something Tuesday.
All right, well, it has been another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All. My name is Cody Lashley. Hopefully, the next time I'm talking to you, Deshaun Watson is the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, but that's just me, man. Until next time, Panther Nation, keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Peace.